Oh, I really wish I didn't see a lot of that because it's one of those things where it's just like, why do you guys hurt me and torture me? Why do you force me to watch these things? I'm out the game. I'm Iron. I was Iron Man. I'm dead. I died. I'm not here no more.
Facts.
You can't bring me back. It's over. Like, oh man.
I had this thought I think like around a week ago, and I was like, I might never watch another live action superhero movie that isn't called The Batman ever again.
Big in Tokyo, I wanna be big in Tokyo. Big in Tokyo, I wanna be big in Tokyo. Big in Tokyo, I wanna be big in Tokyo. Big in Tokyo, I wanna be big in Tokyo. Drink all the sake I want, read all the manga I want, wear all the vape that I want, buy all the J's that I want, be with any girl that I want, drive any car that I want. I'm always out of the country. I'm sorry if I ain't home.
Honestly, since I was already live, I'm not gonna play this thing for that long. So let me just put myself on camera, I guess, and then we can start. Cause
Oh.
I do not know what these niggas are doing, bro. so I'm so upset. Cause I actually I like Kang. I think he's been interesting more often than he hasn't been. And what are they doing? What are they doing, Glam? What's like the latest thing you've seen from any of this stuff recently? What's like the latest you've seen?
Actually watch any of them?
Yeah, like you
Fuck.
probably know what happened, but like yeah, like because for me it was probably
Still,
multiverse.
still, it's still Endgame for me. I have not watched a single thing from Phase 4. I've
How
seen
did you?
clips.
How
That
did you escape? You know what? You don't have people like me. You don't have people like me bothering you. Like, are they doing this character justice? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't see it.
Mhm.
Then I have to watch. I have to watch everything and like be like, So yeah, but
Yeah, nobody's asking me to watch this shit with them. They just leave me alone.
mhm.
They know better.
But all right. Say hi to YouTube if you're on YouTube. Welcome to episode 11 of Views from the Watchtower. This is me and Glam's podcast about comics, everything
Hiya.
Marvel, DC, and everything related. Image, Boom Studios, Valiant, Ninja Turtles, IDW, whatever you want to call it. And I'm upset.
Yeah.
I'm upset
What else is new?
because what are they doing? Why are they doing this? I watched The Flash recently.
Big oof.
I put the straw hat on. What else did I watch? I seen the first episode of Secret Invasion, so that's bothered. So that's not moving me. I got forced to watch Loki, most of WandaVision, and I fell asleep during what's
Black
the other
Adam.
one? No, yeah, the Black Adam.
Or
Now I heard so many good things about this supposed Flash movie, so I'm gonna start here because these I think DCEU was done anyways, right? Like this, like the last movie, I think.
yes.
And was this supposed
Well,
to? Go ahead.
Aquaman. Aquaman should technically be the last
I
one.
keep forgetting that's the thing. That didn't come out yet.
No, it
Wasn't
hasn't.
that movie like done and like screen tested like so long ago?
I think I was shooting pickups for it very
Hmm.
recently.
Hmm. And Ponzi, I'll get you in next time. I'll get you in next time. Next time I do the Watchtower episode 12, I'll get you in. And Just me
I
and Glam.
mean,
Just
I
me
guess Blue Beetle too.
just me and Glam today.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, so this movie's ass. This is one of the worst DC movies I've ever seen. It's trash. It's garbage. There isn't anything redeemable about it, and I don't know why they pretended that it was even remotely kind of good. You didn't see it, right?
No, I did not. But you and me, as soon as we saw what it was about, you and I both said they're lying. The minute
Yeah.
we saw both of them guessing it up.
Mm-mm. Yeah. So basically, in this movie, what happens is Flash goes back in time to save his mom. So it's supposed to be their version of Flashpoint. Like, I think part of it that bothers me is supposed to be Flashpoint. The Flashpoint is such an iconic, important, integral part of the DC like rebooting, if you will, and everything like that. And
Mhm.
actually, the comic book is really good. And all things considered, the animated movie they did wasn't bad at all. I think the biggest problem with that movie was we never got to see the Joker, which was Thomas Wayne's wife, like we did in the
Mhm.
comic book. I think that could have added an important layer to it. But I understand that the DC animated movies, and even to this day, we're not making 2.5, 3.5 hours movie. We're out of there in an hour and a half. And honestly, that's the runtime that I fucking prefer. I'm tired of sitting in movie theaters for 3 goddamn hours. Okay? Efficiency is what we want. This just not moving me. Endgame felt like half a day to me. I was in so much mental, physical, and emotional pain. I just wanted to leave, and I couldn't go nowhere. So, oh my god, damn, it's crazy. I thought blaming I said glam. All I've seen about flops of people making fun of it, it's not good. The facts, the Joker was the icing on the cake for the Flashpoint Endgame. I took 3 naps. I understand, man. Endgame wasn't it like that. It wasn't. I did the last one I remember really liking was Infinity War. Infinity War was good. As much as I didn't, I'm not a big fan of the version of Thanos that they use because it's not the Mad Titan that I'm accustomed to. I don't think they. I think they treat him with like a decent amount of reverence and respect. But let me kind of explain what happens in this movie. So basically, he goes back, he saves his mom, and then he gets punched out of the Speed Force by a Black Flash. So now he's in year 2013, where Zod invades Earth. But the way that the timeline works and the parallel dimensions work in this is you don't rewrite your own history. You just completely create a new history with a different past and a different future. So in this version, there is no Superman. Superman actually gets captured by Zod and killed as a baby, but doesn't have the Codex. It's Supergirl that has it. You know, the other one, he's supposed to be really skinny Superman that was trapped away for years. It's a little different that way. So basically, Zod is in the Kryptonian army in a lot of ways is the main antagonist, and it's like a very shitty, lazy multiverse version where you don't get anything from Michael Shannon and the girl who played Feora or whatever. It sucked because they didn't get to act. They're just like big bad Kryptonian evil, need codex, terraform Earth, and I'm just in there like,
We
why
did
must
this
I
already.
suffer? Why must I suffer? I don't like Ezra Miller. I don't like his rendition of the Flash. If I'm being completely honest, but I'll give him credit here. Him playing a more seasoned Barry Allen that like realized how kind of annoying he can be, and he has to be mentored to like younger Barry. He didn't do a bad job. They did feel like the same character, but distinctly different, especially in terms of age and experience with their abilities. I'm actually gonna give them credit there. And what's his name? Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton was fine. He was really inoffensive, but it was mostly and obviously a stunt double doing all the action and CGI. It wasn't really him, so he didn't really bother me. But I'm not Michael Keaton is not my Batman, so I don't really care. But it's not gonna make me go I don't care. So that shit was ass. CGI is horrible. It's really bad to the point that apparently I was watching a couple of people talk about it when I was editing, and they were saying that they thought that the visuals that they had watched in the initial screening, which was the exact same visuals, were unfinished. So they thought they were going to be better, and they were all disappointed to find out that was actually the finished product of the visuals. And I do think it's jarring. It's jarringly bad. I'm not a person who really catches CGI or bad acting to that degree, so if I can point it out, it's probably not a good thing. It was really horrible. None of the other characters really get to do anything or get fleshed out in any meaningful capacity. Supergirl's not interesting. Michael Keaton Batman is just, a seasoned Batman, so he's like fine, like he's just walking around doing things. So it was really whatever, and I just didn't think it was visually interesting, good story. Don't think there's any great characters aside from that one praise I gave to Ezra Miller from an acting standpoint. It wasn't a good movie, and what happens is they beat well Zod's technically not the big bad guy. They've come to I can't remember what they called it. They came to something a point where of no return, where something has to happen. No matter how many times you try to go and change it, it doesn't happen. And basically, past Barry keeps trying to save Supergirl and this version of the Earth from losing to Zod. But Barry, the older one, realizes we cannot stop this. This is meant to happen, no matter how many to go back. And that Barry keeps trying and trying and trying and trying and trying and trying until he becomes the Black Flash. The person that punched him out the time stream, the Speed Force initially was the older version of the younger Barry that he ends up having to mentor. And then all the like basically a huge convergence happens. All the universes are like colliding or whatever. You see like Nicolas Cage and Christopher Reeves, and it just looks horrible. It's really ass. And then younger Barry kills the Black Flash, and then Barry goes back in time, having learned to lesson not to meddle with time, but meddles with time again by moving the spaghetti the tomato sauce that his dad went to get to the top shelf, so that they could see his face in the camera to get his dad off of the murder of the mother. So at the very end, the last scene you see is not Michael Keaton as Batman; it's fucking George Clooney. So I'm like, is George Clooney gonna be the new Batman for James Gunn? What are we doing? This is a fucking shit movie. And if you want to explain the multiverse to anybody who's not someone who's already seasoned with it, you're going to confuse them. I thought Loki and this movie did a terrible job explaining the multiverse. I think Spider Verse is a much better job into and across. So yeah, Infinity War greater than Endgame. I agree. I saw the whole shit show using the image of that Superman actor who had depression because of the role and committed suicide later on. Oh man, I don't even know if I knew about that, but that's essentially how
That's
the film
Christopher Reeve.
goes. It's just not good. The only thing I will say, and I think this is a Zack Snyder thing, and I'll give Zack Snyder credit here. I don't think he's perfect. I like him. I don't have a problem with Zack Snyder. He's not a perfect director. He's not a perfect writer or anything, but I like that the energy that Flash creates through, I guess, movement, kinetic energy is like electrical energy he can disperse if you know how to control it. So they didn't have a real well, I guess younger Barry especially didn't really have a good way to hurt Kryptonians because he didn't know how to use his powers well. So he was telling him to like use the disperse energy, blah blah blah. I think he gave Wonder Woman those like when she clangs her cuffs together, makes that explosion. Those aren't things I'm particularly accustomed to. I like that he takes a couple of liberties with their power sets and whatnot. I don't mind that. I think giving them more powers or different ways to use it is fine. But yeah, that was that movie, which wasn't good at all. I'm like upset that I saw it. Like I would not. I actually do not hate Ant-Man Quantumania. I don't. I don't hate any Ant-Man movie. I don't love any of them. They're inoffensive to me. But Jesus fucking Christ. I recently have learned that Nathaniel Richards, Kang the Conqueror, is supposed to be the Thanos of this next the big bad that they all have to stop, right?
Mhm.
And what the fuck are they doing? No one's gonna be able to take this dude seriously. Now I don't know what if just I guess I have to say this because I know it's happening. Jonathan Majors is caught up in a controversy, which I don't believe he did anything wrong based on what I know. I mean, I could be wrong. So I don't know if he will be Kang moving forward. But as far as his acting chops go and him being Kang, it's great. He's fine. I like him. I like him on screen. I haven't seen too many films with him in it. Only thing I could literally think of is Creed 3 and this, and I liked him in both films. I think he's good, a good actor. Um so yeah, Quantum Mania had to retcon a couple of things from the past, but basically they go into the quantum realm. Um they get sucked into the quantum realm because Cassie was sending a signal down there to try to map it out, and Kang basically made MODOK, and Jesus fucking Christ, this version of MODOK is unserious. It's Darren, bro.
Yep.
Darren from Ant-Man and the Wasp 2, it's him. He's MODOK.
Yep. Well, no,
I don't know if you knew that
one.
already. I didn't know that. I didn't know MODOK
Yeah,
was
he
in here.
was. It's
I thought we weren't doing MODOK because AIM was already in Iron Man 3 and didn't do anything with AIM. And AIM is the organization he controls.
Yep.
Advanced something mechanism.
Idea Mechanics.
Idea Mechanics, right? I was like,
Yeah.
so I saw him, and when it was there, and I was like, I almost like, I said, I literally was like, turn it off. I was like, no, like, turn it off. I'm done.
Yeah.
Darren?
He was yellow. He was Yellow Jacket from the first movie.
Yeah. Or second? Was it the first one or second?
Uh,
No, second was the Ghost
Echo
shit, right?
was the villain in 2.
Yes, the
Yeah, it
Ghost
was,
shit.
or
Okay.
not Echo, Ghost.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, basically because he wants revenge on Scott, he was waiting for the signal and somehow pulled him into the quantum realm. And the quantum realm in the MCU is outside of time and space. So basically, what happened was, from my understanding, because I have to kind of go in reverse. When Loki or female Loki killed She Who Remains, it opened up the timeline because now whatever his sacred timeline was compromised and all the multiverses were starting to branch out or whatever the case was. So Kang the Conqueror was waging war against the other versions of himself, and he got exiled to the quantum realm, and he couldn't escape without his like battery being recharged or whatever, because he has the chair that can take him anywhere across the multiverse and space and time. So, oh Jesus Christ, what's her name? Laura? Damn it! What's the mom? What's Hank Pym's wife's name? Fuck.
Janet Van Dyne, the
Yeah,
Wasp.
Janet. Wait, what's the wasp's name?
Janet.
I'm confused.
Janet Van
No,
Dyne.
not her. The mom. Remember,
Yeah,
not
that's Janet.
Scott Lang's girlfriend, the older one.
Yeah, Scott Lang's girlfriend is Hope.
There you go, Hope. I
Hank
want
Pym-
I
Hank-
don't want to
Hank
fuck her
Pym's
names up. There we
wife
go. There we
is
go. There we go.
Janet.
There we go. So Janet basically helped him fix the ship. But then when she touched it, because remember his thing is neurokinetic, she was able to connect with his mind and saw all the atrocities he's caused across the multiverse. So he's already a timeline destroyer, has already destroyed other versions of Kang and other versions of and other multiverses. Somehow she was able to take the orb from him, use Pym particles on it, and fuck it up, keeping him stranded there. So he conquered the quantum realm and created an army. Oh boy. So, anyways, they're in there, blah blah. Kang's doing things. He wants Scott to go steal it. He doesn't honor their deal to protect Cassie after he does it. And this nigga lost to Ants, Hope, and Scott Lang. I can't take this serious. I can't take this guy seriously. He can't be a multiversal threat or a threat to anybody if you lost to Ant-Man. I'm sorry. I don't even disrespect Ant-Man how like people respect him, but what? If you lost to these losers, I don't care who you bring. I'm not scared of you. You've already neutralized this guy as a threat because he's already died twice. He's died in Loki and he's died in here and he lost. Well, I don't think he's dead. I think he got sucked into his machine core and he's gonna get the ability to travel the multiverse without the need of the machine. That's my personal opinion. But at the very end, they show the Council of Kangs and you saw Ramatut. I believe
Mortis.
That's crazy. MCU's version of Scarlet Centurion and Immortus, but Immortus is supposed to be what Kang the Conqueror becomes in the 40th century later
By
on.
the end.
Yeah, so I don't know that it makes sense for him, but maybe he's the leader of the Council of Kangs, and they all are there like, ooh, they're beginning to touch the multiverse. We must stop them. And I'm like, I just want to die. I'm so tired. I hate everything, bro. Kang, we saw him wiping out entire multiverses, and he lost to some fucking ants. This shit is trash. It's ass. It's not good. I don't respect this. This is not good storytelling. And then he tried to act like you're an Avenger, because Ant-Man was like, "I'm an Avenger," and he's like, "Are you the one with the hammer?" Sorry, they all blend together. So he killed multiple Avengers, but you lost to Hope and Scott Lang. You're done. You're cooked. Don't come back. Fuck you. All right, I'm done. And I promise you guys, Kang is cool. The one thing I'll give Multiverse of Madness is Black Bolt. Every time I see him, gets his ass beat. He sucks. So him dying with Wanda making him fucking kill himself didn't bother me. I actually think he's stinky. He's fucking booty butt cheeks. I think Kang is actually pretty cool, all things considered, more often than he's not. So I was very disappointed by this. Then at least a secret invasion where I learned that Agent Ross the whole time was a Skrull. Forgot the Skrulls were in this in general because I don't respect Captain Marvel and her movie. I hate her, so I forgot about it. But yeah, Nick. I almost said Nicolas Cage. Nick Fury is on Sword, and the current Nick Fury that's on Earth is a Skrull. It's not him. So I guess he's here to like deal with the invasion with the Skrulls. But I don't think it's gonna work the same because their planet was lost to Galactus, and then my homegirl, remember her name, who was like one of the more prophetic religious types of the Skrulls, became the new queen. And when they lost their planet because they couldn't cloak it, there was like a prophecy that the blue sphere will come to the new home, and they believed that was Earth. So they went to Earth to conquer it by taking over high political positions and things like that. So I actually really like Secret Invasion as an event, and I don't believe they're going to do it any justice the same way that I think Civil War let us down. Civil War in hindsight is not the worst movie ever, but it's not Civil War from the comics in any capacity, in any vein. It is inferior in every form you could think of. It's inferior. So yeah, it hasn't been good. I'm not impressed. So yeah. And greater than multiverse, it reminds me of that JoJo power scaling video where the rat beats because the rat beat Jatara, therefore the rat is better than time. Time stop? Yeah. So yeah, so he's died 3 times since he was killed in the Loki show to begin with. I guess maybe I missed the one version that died. But yeah. And they had Victor Timely there too, and I'm like, I wonder if what they're trying to do is Kang the Conqueror is who become he who remains. But they
From what I've heard from teases, is that he's actually going to become the Beyonder, and that the Beyonder is a Kang variant, not actually a
why?
separate thing, because they want to do Secret Wars, but keep Kang as their main villain.
I want off this planet. I'm tired.
This is my thing with a lot of these things they're adapting. A lot of these events weren't really that good, at least in my opinion, in the first place. Like Secret Wars is an event I've never cared for. Same with Civil War. Same with Secret Invasion to an extent.
I like Secret Invasion. I did like Civil War. I was a lot younger when I read it, so it really did impact me when Spider-Man revealed himself to the world. It was a big deal to me. It was. But fair enough. Keep going.
Yeah, but like the reason they're adapting them is because these are the ones that are popular, and the reason why they're the ones that are popular is because we have lots of characters fighting each other at once.
Mm-hmm.
When I hear these things about these movies, I'm not shocked because every time I see the trailers, a lot of these things now I just judge based off intuition. Is it going to be good or bad, just off of my first impression? That's really all I need for these things because they've proven for a track record. Every time I make a judgment call at face value for these films, that's right.
Same.
From what I've heard, from everything I hear about them.
Same.
So,
Omar.
like for me, I said this the last time. I think maybe the second to last of the last time we did one of these.
Mm-hmm.
If Fantastic Four isn't good, they're cooked.
Yeah.
If it is just
so
generally
integral.
not received well, it's cooked. Because you can't go any because the rumors I hear after that is because you would think if you're doing Secret Invasion and you're doing Fantastic Four, Galactus and Doctor Doom have to be coming up next as your big bads, probably. And if Fantastic Four isn't good, then neither of them are going to be good.
Because I think they might be scared to mess up Doom. Because remember, Nathaniel Richards got his idea of making a technology suit from Doom. Remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I just think they're gonna have a variant that acts very much in a Victor Von Doom way that is like a Kang the Conqueror. I think they're gonna do that. I don't think they're gonna use Doom. I don't think they're gonna bother. I don't know though. I've been checked out of MCU since Endgame, same, and Spider-Man, so I'm extra lost when it comes to current events. So am I. That's why I was saying I have to do a lot of. Oh, that's what I was forgetting. What If? I watched What If. That's the other one that I'll be watched.
Boy.
What If? So yeah, I was kind of working like out of order in terms of chronological. I didn't even know that Guardians had like a Christmas special. I didn't know about it. I had to read what happened, and I think not Gamora.
That's another thing I heard too.
Not Gamora. What's the other? What's the sister's name? What's Gamora's sister's name? I can't remember.
Nebula.
Nebula gave Rocket Winter Soldier's old arm.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, you got me his arm." He was so happy. I like Rocket. I actually don't hate Guardians 3. I think that's a solid trilogy. The second movie is ass cheeks. Because I didn't like the ego thing. I think it would have been better if he was a
Same.
Yeah. So yeah.
Because for Guardians 3, my first impression was good movie, but the only thing that I'm gonna care about in it, Adam Warlock was gonna be bad. Lo and behold.
They didn't do him justice. He was really bad, but I think they could at least like make him a respectable character. I don't like how he was made in this version. I don't even remember his origin story like that, but it wasn't like this with the high
my thing with Adam
evolutionary.
Warlock is that my thing with Adam Warlock always is that his time in this movieverse has come and gone because he's most impactful when he's interacting with Thanos and the Infinity Gems, and all that's gone already. It's like, what is he here for? Just to be like their version of Thor? Like we could finally have somebody that's legitimately powerful on this team, even though like 3 of them are not going to be on it anymore?
Yeah, I don't know. Did I see Star Wars? What If? No, I'm super done with Star Wars. Like very, very done. If you fire Kathleen Kennedy and put what's his name? The other guy that we like, not Lucas, the other one that did
Filoni?
Clone Wars. Filoni? Is his name Filoni? Yeah, the one with the cowboy hat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And maybe, but until then, nah. So
They had me for Ahsoka, and that's it.
yeah. So yeah, Rocket is goaded. You missed the Crip Must special. That killed me. Only two moved me. Um, Spider-Man No Way Home or whatever was fine. I didn't think. I think people overblown it, but I'm not like a Tobey Maguire stan or anything like that. I don't really care. The thing that shocked me most about that movie was Aunt May's death. So yeah, rumors circulating that she's fired. You know, I got you need.
Doubt.
I don't know. I press X to doubt.
Doubt.
You can't fire women, bro. Daredevil still
Neither
reigns
was
as peak live action Marvel. Do I agree with that? The
Winter
first season is
Soldier's.
really good.
Winter
I don't.
Soldier's still better.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best thing out of the MCU to this day. Still Winter Soldier, in my opinion. Um, what else did I want to say about this? I'm trying to remember. So yeah, I don't think the general audience is going to be able to take Kang seriously on the account that they've already seen him lost so many times, and
I don't think
this
they'll
is
care.
and this is one of my biggest problems with comic books in general. A lot of the times when characters who aren't strong enough to fight somebody extremely powerful, they got to do something
Win.
really stupid to make them win. Like I actually
Yep.
wanted to lose the whole time. Like, oh, get that away from me. That shit is smelly as fuck, you know. So I think it was just that Kang was obviously so much more powerful than that when he came down, I thought he was gonna wreck shit because he was just disintegrating people with one beam. But when the same beam hits the heroes, they just get knocked back. And I'm like, all right, man, I can't do this shit no more. I gotta start making sense and be consistent. And then he's like, and you talk to ants. And the ants came and beat his ass. I'm like, all right, dude. And then like this is one scene where he like tries to run into the portal to escape the quantum realm. And I'm like, why would you leave your fucking super chair in the quantum realm? You fucking idiot. Just let them go. Because they were trying to escape from you and they never took your power source. Just escape with the chair after. It was like okay, all right, all right. Anyways, before I keep going, I don't remember if me and you ever got a chance to speak about Spider Verse on
I've never watched any of the movies, but
oh wow.
that's because primarily and you told me this I think the first time we talked about the first one is that I don't care about Miles Morales and I don't care about the Spider-Verse concept as a whole. Never have.
So what? It's a good movie
Even
though.
I mean I've never cared enough to actually take a look at it. It's just me though.
That's the wrong opinion. You're gonna watch it.
I
You're gonna watch it. It's the wrong opinion. It's not even like that. It's like it's so much more than that. From like creating a much better origin story for Miles. Because I used to tell people all the time when it was coming out. I was kind of like, we'll see. I'm more interested in the animation than anything. That's really what I was here for. And I'm a Spider-Man guy. Obviously, I like Spider-Man. But my favorite Spider-Man has always been Peter Parker, followed by Miguel O'Hara. I probably would put Ben Riley third or someone. I don't know, give or take.
mm-hmm.
Miles is never on that list. I didn't like the Miles Ultimate Spider-Man by Bendis. I didn't like it. That was ass. They did a much better version of telling Miles' story. Even Ultimate Spider-Man had Miles in it, the cartoon. I can't say
Yeah.
that I particularly super cared for Miles. I haven't played the game yet from Insomniac, so I'll let you know how I feel about him. I know he was in part one, but he wasn't Spider
Yes.
Man yet, if I remember correctly. But so I'll let you know how I feel about video game Miles. But it's not a character that I cared about, like in that sense. This is the best version of Miles Morales that they've made, and the fact that they were able to tell a compelling origin story with a multiversal concept in the first film without it being confusing or convoluted to me is a testament to how tight knit the writing and everything was in this film because his relationship with his uncle and dad and mother are a lot more fleshed out and better done. They actually lean into his Latino heritage or Hispanic. I'm not sure what the correct term is, but he's Spanish and black. All right. So Rio actually speaks to him in Spanish and things of that nature. And his dad isn't just by the book cop do cop thing. He has a relationship with his dad and with his uncle that was a lot more interesting. So personally, I would be shocked if you watched that movie and didn't come out with like, actually, that's a very good film. Whether or not I care about Spider-Man or Spider-Verse concept, because I've seen this, but this is not new. This is not new to us. If you even watched
Mm-hmm.
the old cartoon with Madame Web and everything, you've seen this before.
Yep.
It's not a new
Yep.
concept to me, so I understand that. This is not like for the casual viewer, this is probably different to them. Like, oh, multiverses, multiple Spider-Man. I've been doing this. I know about the Spider-God, all that shit. Like, I've been here. All right.
Yep.
I know about the Web Warriors. It's not a big deal to me. but I was surprised that they were able to make it so palatable and create a good origin story for Miles in a way that I haven't seen in a long time. And with the way that the comics have been treating Peter Parker, it was just nice to see him like not treated like piece like dog shit, and actually having his relationship work out in the end when things are all said and done. Unlike what they've been fucking doing to him for years in the comics, just torturing that man. I don't like it.
Mhm.
So I'll watch it with you. If anything, I'll watch it. I'll watch it with you because I think you like it. At the end of the day, too, I think it's a technological marvel. Marvel. Because that was the best animated movie I saw in 2018 when I saw it, with the filters, I almost write the dot technique when you draw a comic book come to life, and
Mm.
having different characters represented by having different like filters. Like, but Spider-Man Noir is always in black and white no matter what. The anime style for Penny Parker, the very like Looney Tunes over the top style for Peter Parker, and then Gwen kind of emulating her very first cover where it has these muted colors, and then Miles being like more normal. And then some of them having like chromatic is it chromatic aberrations, I think it's called, the effect, and them not all moving in the same frame per second was very interesting. So anyways, Kingpin is also the main villain of that, which happened like right after I think Daredevil, which was really good. Like they did like this like Kingpin and Daredevil and Kingpin and this were done justice. They did Wilson Fisk really good. So again, I'll watch it with you if anything, which was because
Mhm.
I think it's really good. Across the Spider Verse, in my opinion, I'm not entirely convinced it's a better movie from top to bottom, but it was a great continuation and a great sequel with a lot more action, and it's longer, and they evolved the animation to another step. And I noticed this since Into the Spider Verse, a lot of animated features have been taking bits and pieces from it into them. So Intergalactic, the Kid Cudi movie, is one of them. There's the up and coming. I think it's a Seth Rogen movie, so I don't think I can watch it, but maybe I will. The
The
the Ninja,
turtle
the Ninja,
one.
the Ninja Turtle movie and the Puss in Boots
Yeah.
movie. You could see the impact that Sony Animation Spider Man has had on that and on the animation industry, and I think it's pushed them to create better animation. So I actually think it's a technological marvel too. So I think it's important to, even if you're like, well, even if you go like a style, for me, style over substance, which I think there's substance too. I would be shocked if you didn't enjoy it. So yeah. Spider
Yeah,
Verse trilogy will be legendary. I agree. Go ahead. Sorry.
I've heard about things for Across, and there are a multitude of things, and I'm just like, but I'm a lot harder on Spider-Man than even critics of it are. So it could be a lot different with me for these films, but
Yeah. This
largely it's
is
just
this
been
is this. I don't think there's a better Spider-Man movie than these two movies. I stand by that. I haven't seen it. It's not No Way Home. It's not far from home. And
well, in
and
my
what
in my
uh,
mind when I hear statements
ho,
like
ho,
that, I'm
home
like,
Homecoming. Did I get it right?
yes, Homecoming,
Yes.
Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home is what it was, and then the
Yeah. The
Garfield
Sam
McGuire
the
ones.
Sam Raimi trilogy. I don't like the second one. The rest of them are whatever to me. I like two. Haven't seen them in years.
Yeah,
And
every
then
time I hear like
mhm.
those are the best ones to me, my head always goes into, for me personally, low bar. But I don't know. It's I'm the weird comic book fan you'll find who doesn't really give a shit about Spider-Man in any way, shape, or form because of what they've done to him and his variants in the source material for over a decade at this point. Um,
I
where
feel like
it's
the
like
way
it's like you with
I
Star.
feel like yeah,
It's
but I literally want to say that. Like I feel
it's
like
like you with Star Wars. I'm
feel
just
like you're
checked
fed
out.
up with
Like,
all the bullshit and the minutia and all the
yeah,
things they've done. Yeah, all right, fair enough. But watch the movie though.
I got
Um,
you.
Squirrel Girl versus Thanos. I like Andrew Garfield first out of all the Spider-Man movies. Fair enough. Daredevil still reigns. Winter Soldier didn't move me like that. Then again, I hardly remember any NC movies. Yeah, go rewatch that. That movie had real like stakes and everything too.
Yes,
It was at a time where you were allowed to tell real stories with consequences, even for the heroes and whatnot.
that movie's not a
Um,
Captain America movie. It's a
yeah,
spy thriller.
yeah, it's really good. And then I still personally, I don't know if you guys agree with this. You don't have to. I still think I'm gonna be very specific. The best live action superhero like action sequence is BVS Batman in the warehouse. I don't care, and I'm not a Batman guy. I think that shit is
Ooh,
fantastic. Second
that
to
Cap
me
versus Winter
is
Soldier fight
Winter
on the
Soldier, and
highway.
exactly
Yeah,
when they're on the street. Oh my god! When he's dropping the knife and the arms goes,
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, that shit is
Yeah.
so gas. They have never beaten that in Marvel. They haven't beaten it. Don't tell me the airport scene. That shit did not move me. No, like
Nope.
that shit was gas. So yeah, those are 1 and 2 though. 1A, 1B. So I don't care. I
Yeah,
don't
'cause
mind
that
if you have the other
Batman
one
one's
first,
really
but
good.
it's the brutality in which Batman was throwing them niggas onto the ground. He punched that dude in the wall, took the
Mhm.
fucking box. And I'm like, yo, this is so
Well, and there
raw.
was also, I think that fight for BVS did a very good job of not having the problem of having a group of people around one guy just standing around. Like they were
Yes.
actually trying to gang up on him, and it worked because of Batman's a dude covered in body armor, other
Yeah.
than his lower mouth. Where are you going to hit him?
Exactly.
That's actually going to do anything.
Have I seen the most recent Thor movie? I saw part of it and had to turn it off, turn it off. I literally said my stipulation to do this was I will not watch Love and Thunder. I do not care what's in it. And they're like, all right, deal. So no. Oh, you cannot convince me that Thor is not 0 for 4. He's missed all his shots. They're all bad movies, all of them. So
Which is a shame because Thor comics are among the best in Marvel's total catalog
I was
when they're done well.
they
Anyway.
made me stop being a Thor fan.
Yeah.
I remember I gave my hat away. I had a Thor hat. I'm actually grateful for all these strikes in the industry because after the pandemic, these business niggas was thirsty for the easiest buck. Yep. Miles as
Well,
Thor, peak fiction. Stop. Stop.
the
Stop.
other thing with those strikes too is the problem people have to recognize. I'm willing to bet a sizable, I'm not going to go majority, a sizable percentage of these writers even striking are not good.
Mhm.
Now, a
One
lot
thing
of
you
it
said,
could be
sorry,
producer.
real quick. One thing you said that I
Go for
agree
it.
with is the bar is low for Spider-Man movies. Go ahead though. It is low. I agree
Oh
with
yeah.
that.
Okay. But yeah, I'm saying like the industry, in my opinion, and this goes across multiple countries, across multiple mediums, writing as a whole has become so mainstream that the bar has been lowered for what actual quality is.
That's why the
And
niggas
I
going on
think
strike is
that's
hilarious to me. I'm
undeniable.
like, don't come back.
Yeah, like some of y'all don't come back. Stay broke, please. You do not know what you're doing. Like, because when I see, we'll get into this later. Invincible's show, widely held up for people that love it. You and I watch it. This shit mid doesn't hold a candle
To the
to
comics.
what the comic book was, and it's written by the same guy. Kirkman is script writing for this, and he claims he's a better writer now than he was then. He's lying his ass off.
Do you think it's one of those things where it's the medium that's giving him trouble? Not that he's a bad writer, but he's more suited to write graphic novels and not a TV show, episodic.
Well, that could be part of it, but I think what people deem as good writing now is just shit.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And
The
I'm
bar
willing
is
to bet
low.
that yeah, I'm just willing to bet that Kirkman is a member of that group that believes that.
Mm, fair
Because
enough.
what was the one series he released recently? The fireman one. That was a comic book. I haven't heard anything positive about that from people that actually know what they're talking about.
Yep. That's the thing too. Like me and you are people that like it's not to be like it's not like I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but when certain people tell me something's good, it doesn't mean anything to me. Like you like everything.
Yeah. Yes.
Like
No, I
you're
100% agree.
our bars are not the same, you know? So Spider-Man would be legendary. 94 saw Ben Bradley was like, oh no, this nigga blonde, except for Disney, no influence that felt there. Fair facts. BVS had Batman killing niggas. Yeah. I like that actually. That doesn't bother me. I've heard that that Snyder's verse is being seen as it's more as an Elseworld story now. I don't know if that's true, but
That's what Gunn's doing with it, which I think that's a good business move,
it's fine.
personally.
Doesn't bother me
That
really.
doesn't make me have any faith in the movies he's gonna make or the shows he's gonna make, but
No, not,
completely separate subject.
I can't say that I believe in James Gunn and Warner Brothers and everything, but shit, what was I gonna say? But yeah, it comes across. Yeah, the writing in general now is like homogenized for like a certain type of person and audience, and it seems to
It's for
me that
normies.
they're more created to preach why we're all bad people and all this snark in it, and I hate it, and like
I
I
don't even
no
think it's that. A
no,
lot of it's just dumbed down material, just like what sells the best
yes,
for
what's
me.
easy to market and stuff like that, because like I would argue retroactively, I think the reason a lot of people ended up watching that Doctor Strange movie, which most people I actually talk to don't like that much, is that they had the Illuminati in it. I think they used that as a draw because they knew Reed Richards and whatever would be there and everything, and they just
Probably
kind of
Professor X are the big one
yeah,
because
yeah,
X-Men
yeah,
fans
yeah.
are all over the place.
Because I don't think anyone cared about Flash until Michael Keaton was in it, and people were like, "My nostalgia," right? And I'm like, I don't really care about Michael Keaton. I don't think he's about. I don't dislike those movies. I think they're fine. It's just that's not. I like Ben Affleck as far as live action goes, and Robert Pattinson right now. They're my favorite too.
Yep.
So yeah, but yeah. So there's like a lot of snark, a lot of disrespect for legacy characters, and a lot of these writers just stand on the shoulders of giants. So they get an IP that's already well known with a built-in fan base, and then shit on that fan base. And while I agree with you that the writing is more like just dumbed down to be like, okay, like the character arcs that they had in the beginning of the MCU and whatnot, and everything that they did would just seemed a lot more well thought out and planned out. And
Especially for Iron Man.
yeah, like it was really like they go through really good character arcs that I could respect. Captain America being a man out of time and things like that. It was really good. Then him, deciding to go live with Peggy and everything. And now it doesn't seem like that. They're just like cameos. Oh, look how powerful, girl boss. Like it's just all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, and,
Oh,
and then
even
and then I I wish I didn't notice this, but I do notice this now, and I probably maybe wouldn't have if I didn't watch a lot of like channels. But I am getting tired of like the constant male emasculation. They can never be competent. If there's like a female around or a female leading character, they're always like stupid and dumb, and they're like the Peter Griffin, Homer Simpson types, Like that's getting a little annoying to me. I'm like, all right, you can make them both competent. You don't got to do this. You know what I'm saying? So, so yeah, I'm with you, but
there's definitely preachy shit in them.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
and
like
especially
yeah,
in comic
just trying to
industries.
just trying to like pander and preach to me, and I don't care about it. I didn't even really like the scene in Secret Invasion where they're like, people with our skin color, we don't. I'm like, oh my god, turn this off. Him and Rhodey were talking at the chair. I'm like, shut up, man. I don't fucking care. Also, I think Rhodey's a scroll. That's too many
Uh,
normies, man. I miss being
yeah,
an ostracized nerd secretly. I miss when like they're like, "You like Superman, you're a geek. Yeah, it's okay. I
I'll
miss
take
that.
that now.
Yeah, go back. But the button fuck go back. I need to go back
Next.
button. Have you? So I actually learned that the new so after Flashpoint in the
Mm-hmm.
DC animated stuff, so I learned that this verse is called the Tomorrowverse.
Mm-hmm.
With Deathstroke, there's a Dragons and Monsters or something. What was it called again? Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons, I think it was
Knights and
called.
Dragons. Yeah.
Man of Tomorrow, Superman, Batman. I think we watched what was it? The Long Halloween Part
Long
One and
Halloween.
Two,
Then there
Justice
was the Green
Society,
Lantern one,
Green Lantern with
and
yeah, and
then
now War World's coming out.
Le-
Justice League War World.
Legion of Doom was the other one, or Legion of Superheroes was the other one with Supergirl. Wow.
I have to watch that. I didn't know that, and I have to watch that one. The one I know is coming out is
Minute
the
I
one with War World and
minute I saw
Mongrel.
Legion of Superheroes, I was checked out. I was like, nope,
Oh,
you're
okay.
not gonna get me with that.
So I know what it's called now. Have you liked these movies on average for the most part that you've seen?
Yeah.
I like the animations and the really hard outlines, like the dark outlines. I liked it a
Yeah.
lot more. The character models are
Um,
better than me. They move better than the New 52
the
stuff.
Green Lantern one turned me off
Yeah,
because
that made me like doubt.
because we were at a very good building point at the end of Long Halloween Part 2, coming off of what had happened in Justice Society. Because what that teased, because Superman was like, okay, we have Martian Manhunter, he's off doing his own thing, and Lobo's here, and okay, like Clark's actually doing shit. Then Justice Society happened and showed Flash what the world's gonna need in the future, because Doctor Fate's there, and he's like, you need to build the League, Barry.
Mm,
And then we see him meet up with Superman at the end of that, and it's like, okay, good. End
yeah.
of Long Halloween Part 2 is Flash and I think Green Arrow coming to recruit Batman for
Mm.
this. We then skip all the way into the Justice League being fully formed. Hal
Hal
Jordan
Jordan's
is
fucking
already
dead,
dead. We
right?
have Hawkgirl, Martian Manhunter, Green Arrow, and a bunch of other leaguers in here with John Stewart already coming in. I'm like, what are we doing, dog? We're mixing Parallax and what was the other storyline that occurred together with this? I couldn't even remember. It was another Green Lantern one. I can't remember. Sinestro War, I think it was. No, the Ran Thanagarian War. That's what it was, because it was
Oh,
Adam
okay.
Strange versus Thanagar, which I was like, Jesus Christ. And then I see
For
Legion
some
of
reason, I
Superheroes
was
happen.
thinking of the Rise of Volthoom for some reason, or the Third Army. I don't know why, but sorry.
Yeah. But then we see then I see what Legion of Superheroes is about, which automatically Legion of Superheroes is a point in DC where I'm just I don't care about any of these people. I don't think they're good.
Bro, I don't care
Fuck
about
Brainiac.
Lightning Lad, bro.
Fuck Brainiac 5 and his boys. I don't care.
This
And
nigga,
so
everyone boo this man. He don't like Lightning Lad. I'm kidding. I don't care about them either.
we
The reason.
already
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I didn't mind the TV show. I didn't mind it. Just because Superman,
I never.
because Superman was like was like Smallville Superman. That's why I liked it.
Mhm.
Because he had like the blur where you like he could run around but he couldn't fly yet. So
Yeah.
anyways, and that's how he learned he'd become a hero in that universe. But go ahead. Sorry.
And so then we're at a Supergirl movie with the Legion of Superheroes. Where is the Justice League movie? Where's it at? And from what I've seen of clips in that, Batman and Superman already fucking know each other and are boys. In that. And we're already going into Supergirl. Hey, you want to romance Brainiac 5 and leave to another universe already before we've even done any of this shit? I was like, dude, what are we doing? What is this pacing for this movieverse? Like,
I
what
don't
are we
know.
doing? At least with the previous one that ended like shit in Darkseid War, we at least had logical progression from Justice League War into Teen Titans, into Throne of Atlantis, into Justice League Justice League Dark.
There's Court of the Owls. There was Teen
Court of the
Titans versus
Owls.
Justice League and all that stuff. Like they had their individual and combined stories, but it was more cohesive and easier to
At
follow.
least we got somewhere.
Yeah.
Darkseid War fucked it all up. And like I think Justice League versus Teen Titans wasn't very good. And then I think the first Teen Titans one wasn't that good. If I'm being perfectly honest.
I honestly don't even remember all of them. I have to go through a list and try to remember what exactly happens in
that
each one.
first Teen Titans movie was off rip into Judas Contract. I'm like, Jesus.
Oh yes, with
what?
Yeah, okay.
Because Deathstroke had been the main villain in the first Batman and Robin movie, and then he's back. He beats the shit out of Dick Grayson, like badly.
Yep.
And then he's fighting Damian at the end of it, 1v1. I'm not even going to get into I'm not even going to get into my distaste for Damian Wayne, especially in those movies.
What upsets me the most about him is, all right, you want to be your Talia, Ra's al Ghul's legacy, Batman, you're super fucking
better than
nimble,
Dick Grayson.
Whatever. All right. My problem is when someone like I think if I remember correctly, it was Bronze Tiger, who was like 6'4". Nigga looked like he was like 300 pounds of pure muscle, and you're pushing him backwards. You are not physically capable of doing that. It's like when I see like little dinky girls kick a nigga like, and he flips like 40 times with no super strength. This makes no sense to me. I don't care if you beat him in a fight or use their momentum against them, but you're not gonna physically overpower a grown ass man that way. Maybe you're more skilled from a skilling standpoint. Use that. I'll take that. That's fine.
The other thing too is that Bronze Tiger trained with Batman in Nanda Parbat. Bronze Tiger is one of the best hand-to-hand fighters in DC, period. But Ra's al Ghul League of Shadows tax on Damian Wade. Oh, he's goated.
He's Batman, son. He can't be stopped. I'm like, he's not that cold.
It's the same with Cassandra Cain for me. Like, I can't stand how good Orphan is in comparison to
she's so
even
fucking.
The other DC writers,
too cold.
Other DC writers, like, yeah, Cassandra Cain would whoop Bruce Wayne's ass. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what? Like, Bruce Wayne gets a lot of sauce. Don't get me wrong, unjustified. But Cassandra Cain, come on, bro, come on.
Hey man,
well, that's like complete tangent. Like these movies, once I saw that Green Lantern movie, I was like, no, like y'all lost me. You lost me the minute the formation of the Justice League was skipped.
Yep.
Like what?
You think they're gonna go back and maybe do a movie that shows it later? But
doubt.
It's a weird thing to do.
Doubt. They've done 2 movies with them being a thing already and skipped it.
Let me look up how many movies are in the Tomorrowverse already. Then I wonder what I missed. And did you all see that new Superman animated series that looks like shitty anime?
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean, I saw the trailer for it. I'm not watching.
I didn't watch. I just seen it on Twitter. I didn't watch it. I'm like, I don't like how it looks.
The most I saw about that was a tweet of a girl saying people would actually like Superman if they kept making him look like a sexy himbo. That I laughed at, and that was it. That was the only interaction I had with that fucking trailer.
You're absolutely right. I did not watch this movie. I completely missed this one. So okay, I guess the Deathstroke movie is not a part of this. So maybe I was wrong about that. So that's my fault.
Yeah, I don't think the
It
Deathstroke. I
had the
mean,
same animation style. That's why I assumed it took place in the same universe. But it starts with Man of Tomorrow. And like you said, we went to Justice Society World War II. I watched that. We watched The Long
and
Halloween
it
Part
was
1 and 2. So the last one
yep.
I saw was Green Lantern. I didn't watch
Which
Legion of Heroes.
like
Oh,
how
Supergirl
do we
was there.
how
Interesting.
do we get how do we stop at Long Halloween 2? Hey, Flash is here. Batman, would you like to join the Justice League that I'm first of all, which only looks like Green Arrow and Superman are a part of at the time that we finished
Mm.
that. Like, hey, you want to form this thing? Two, Green Lantern is already dead. Martian Manhunter is back, and we have the Thanagarians already pulled up doing their thing, and we still haven't seen this universe's Wonder Woman yet because we've only seen the one from Justice Society. I haven't even seen her.
Mm.
Like, what happened?
I don't know, dude. There's some short films I didn't see either. There's an Adam Strange one,
I
and
assume so.
and
He's in that.
Commandi, the Last Boy on Earth. I didn't watch that either,
Oh
so
brother. Oh brother. Fucking Commandy.
might have to peep that.
Fucking
Not that
hell.
I want to, but I'll do it for the sake of knowing what's going on. But yeah, so we'll see if War World's any good. But I'm with you. I don't. It's one of those things where it's like I was having this conversation actually. Was it yesterday or today? But we were talking. Someone was asking me like how I would have fixed DC. I'm like I wouldn't have done it in the way that they did it because the biggest problem was that it looked to me like Warner Brothers just wanted to cash into that $1 billion market the way
Mhm.
that Avengers did. I didn't know this, but in hindsight, most of those DC movies that Zack Snyder did were profitable. They just didn't make $1 billion.
They were.
They made money though.
Aquaman made the most
Yeah, it
out
made
of
a
any of them,
billion.
which shocked me.
That made a billion. Commandi was
Yeah.
funny with the first contact with the character. Okay, interesting. I'm a little bit. Not. I'm not gonna say I'm not an expert, but I know of Commandi. Outfield is okay. Well, we'll see how that one goes. They're short, so I know those are usually like at most 15 minutes.
I
To,
think I think a problem that we're getting into the industry in terms of making movies and shows, even if they're animated or not, is that the industry now has this idea that because we've done origins so many times of different teams or individual characters that we don't have to do them anymore unless they're like
mm,
really niche, like Blue Beetle.
yeah,
Like I'm like, if you're setting a new verse, no. You have to show what's the difference between this version of the thing. It's partially the reason why for Homecoming and the Spider-Man movies, a large portion of why I haven't seen them, right? Because I have not watched any of them outside of clips of them, is that we don't know what the interactions between Tom Holland's Peter Parker and that versus Uncle Ben are. We have no
mm,
idea how it's impacted him. Because as far as I'm aware and what I've been told, great power comes great responsibility has like never been a main sticking point with this Spider-Man. As far as I've been told,
mm.
it's all just like figuring out who I am as a kid, teenager, being a superhero, which is fine.
He also doesn't
But
seem to
like
have a spider sense to me. I don't remember if he finally got it in the third movie, but it felt like he doesn't have a spider
he
sense. It was
had it in
weird.
Endgame, or he had it in Infinity War,
No, you're
kind
totally
of.
right. I was trying to be like I remember a scene where like he does have it. It was really right because
And he had it in Civil War too.
yeah,
When he,
when Ma and those guys come, the Black Order, he
Mhm.
his hair's like raised. You're
Like
right. But in his
yeah,
own movies, it seemed to me like he didn't have it. Like he relied on the Stark technology of making the suit for him more than his spider sense. Because one thing
mhm,
I'll give across the Spider Verse, I did really well. There's this one scene early, I'm not gonna spoil anything, where someone's like, "All right, knock yourself out," and Miguel's like, "Why do you say it like that?" And he gets sneak attacked by something because he doesn't have a spider sense. People don't. I think that was a good way to show it. Miguel's senses are just much more enhanced than the average Spider-Man in general, but he doesn't have a spider sense. And the second thing that makes Miguel like cool to me is his talents. Instead of like sticking to walls, he kind of burrows into them because he has talents, which gives him much more maneuverability, especially if it's an oily or wet surface. Spider-Man, people don't know. Spider-Man has actually does have more trouble climbing and clinging to surface if it's oily or wet, like an actual spider. It's harder for them. Miguel doesn't have that problem. And then Miguel's supposed to have organic webbings. I'm not. I assume the reason why they gave him hard light webbings in this was because he's from the future, from 2099. So just to kind of differentiate his style of webbing. But yeah, he didn't have organic webs. I think the only I think the only other character maybe the average person would know who is organic has organic webbing was Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. His he doesn't have the web spinnerets, whatever they're called. So Eternals is the Avengers without any build-up. I never saw the Eternals. He does have it at the end of Far From Home in the ending scene. He primarily so maybe it's okay. So maybe I am misremembering that then. So that's my bad then. It's not stylized. Okay.
How much you
Maybe
want to bet?
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh,
I
you
was gonna say
finish
maybe
your point
I was
about
gonna
it.
say maybe it's the first movie I'm thinking of. I don't know. I might have to rewatch those. I haven't seen them in a long time.
How
That's
much
my
you want to bet that the Flash movie took a lot of inspiration from taking, like, let's just bring back other characters without actually making changes to them, like with Zod, like that
yeah
type of shit? Because Far From Home did the same thing, or No Way Home did the same thing with all the
yeah
like that movie didn't have a single original villain, which to me is a robbery for the MCU.
I
Like,
agree.
I'm sorry, you can have Tobey Maguire's Green Goblin kill Aunt May, which is a very lazy way of making this Green Goblin an enemy of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Because now you've robbed Aunt May from actually doing anything important in this series ever.
And that's
Like, she's
Toby
done
Maguire's like enemy, not
Green
yours.
Goblin.
You don't have the real history with him. It's like
Because
the problem that I have with like the Illuminati scene in Doctor Strange, where they're talking about it, but it's like the Doctor Strange in this universe has no connection to any of you. Why would he care? And why would we care? We don't know y'all. Like
mm-hmm.
as much as the scene people don't like because of the girl Avengers thing, because the girl boss scene with all the women are there or whatever, but the portal scene
At
is
least we know who
important.
they are.
Yeah, we know these characters, we've seen them, and a lot of people have a lot of emotional attachment to them. So seeing Wakandans and T'Challa walk out the portal to help at the final scene against the war against Thanos does mean something. There's history there. We've seen it, and those characters have relationships with one another. The reason why I think Guardians 3 works really well as an emotional like a feeling film is because Rocket is actually forced to truly come to grips with what was done to him by the higher evolutionary and everything like that. And I actually thought it was good. I really thought it was way better than the second one. The second one I think is not good, but yeah.
Because at the same time, it's Andrew Garfield's Electro and Lizard,
Yes.
and Maguire's Sandman.
And
Like, you've
I
just
believe
given
Octavius is there too, if I remember correctly,
yeah,
isn't he?
it's Maguire's Doctor Octopus.
Yeah.
So essentially, you've made your new Spider-Man get a Sinister Six that isn't even his.
I don't
What
know
are
what
we
they
doing?
I don't know. I don't know what they were trying to do with that movie. I didn't like it the way that everyone else did. The pre-cut that comes by is definitely better than the enhanced senses that Miguel has. Yeah, I will take the spider sense personally, just so I know when I'm in like true danger, even if I can't see it. These narrative choices are weird. Yeah, seems like they clumsily kind of did the multiverse thing because most people keep asking me like, "What's a Nexus event? What's a Nexus being?" And I'm like, these are people who can really affect change in the multiverse and timeline because they have abilities and powers that kind of could mess with reality and space and time, like Scarlet Witch and her hex magic, right? So and now I'm hearing there's mutants. I heard that there are mutants. What's the Miss Marvel had a show apparently that no one liked, but there's
Mm-hmm.
mutants in there and everything, so they're bringing mutants to this world and
They're
everything too.
probably also fridging her in the comics to make her a mutant
Yeah.
because nobody likes Inhumans because of what that show did.
Also, apparently Kamala doesn't is she's not well, I think she is actually for some reason a mutant, but she's not an inhuman that gets hit by the Terrigen mist. If I remember correctly, that was her original origin
Yes, it
story,
was.
right? I don't they didn't
Yes,
do that. She has apparently some her great grandma or grandma or something was a djinn
she has some astral
and has
projection
some
powers.
bracelet on that gives her powers cuz I'm not sure how the Marvels makes any sense because it doesn't really seem to me that um I never remember her hero name, but Monica Rambeau, Photon,
Spectrum. Well,
Spectrum.
both are correct. Both are
Yeah,
correct.
I always call her Rambeau. I never remember. That's the one where like I already know your actual name, Monica, Danvers and Kamala. I'm like I don't really get how you guys are going to be connected with the same power because they didn't all come from like the Kree or whatever. Because I was kind of in and out, but I remember when she gets sucked into the hex world of Scarlet Witch, when she touches it, that's when she gets her powers. So it would tie her more to Scarlet Witch, wouldn't it? So it's very weird. I'm not sure what they're doing. So yeah, it's very messy, and it looks like there's. It almost looks to me too, in some ways, there's too many cooks in the kitchen doing their own
Yeah.
thing, because it's not as cohesive and as tight knit as it was. It wasn't perfect before, because my understanding is they never planned to make a cinematic universe like that. But the movies were doing well, and they're like, why not try it? And made a billion, so they kept going with it. But it didn't seem like these other phases were planned out nearly as well, with directors and writers and creative teams that are speaking to one another to be like, oh, you're putting this in there? Okay, I'll reference it in this movie by having this scene and blah, 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 yada, yada. It seems very scattered and disconnected as of right
Well,
now
what's
for me.
happening now to the film verse is what has been happened to the comic verse for so long.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many characters. The minor ones that could get good never get solo runs because they're not popular enough. And the only way that this industry survives, even though it's still dying, is by constantly resurrecting the old guys and giving them rehashed plot lines of different things.
Like, do you think that
Nobody,
like Tony Stark would come back, or at least a version of him from the timelines to
at a
help out or
certain
something?
point, it's going to happen. Like,
And people are thinking that they're going to force Captain America out of retirement.
I know people want to believe that Sam Wilson Captain America and that Riri Williams Ironheart
I don't
have
like
anywhere
I
near
don't like what they
the
I don't like what they I don't like what they did with Riri and
have
Wakanda
anywhere
whatsoever.
near the cachet of Tony Stark and Steve Rogers. They do not.
Who forced
Riri
me to
Williams
watch
is
WandaVision? My friend.
Riri Williams is mid as fuck
Yeah, she's
and
not
will be until
interesting.
the end of time probably.
She's
And
not
Sam
interesting.
Wilson, I'm sorry,
Stinky.
is the Robin to Captain America's Batman. Him
Sorry.
having the shield, it just is what it is. I understand people like to say that, oh, we have a person who is a bird of prey, eagle, America, fuck yeah, he's got the shield on his back, but he's not a super soldier. He's not raw enough. People
Oh,
don't
there's.
even know that this man can talk to birds. Like that's his superpower.
You love WandaVision? I thought WandaVision actually did a pretty decent job tying into Doctor Strange too, depending on how you look at it. Some people think that all the lessons that she learned in Party were discarded in that movie, but I'd argue she never actually she learned the lesson but couldn't live with not having the kids. That's how it seemed to me. Um, for Tony Stark, they literally need him and Cap to be in MCU. The Batman movie is the only movie damn near a decade he didn't. Wait, the Batman movie is the only movie in a damn decade he didn't kill no one. I don't mind that Batfleck was letting those criminals die. It really doesn't bother me because I hate the no killing rule, but that's a personal thing. I don't, and I'm not a Batman guy, so that means more to other people. I think Superman should have snapped Zod's neck. That was the correct choice. Do not let that nigga out. That was the right choice.
Plus, I think Snyder did a good job trying to make it seem like that's something that Clark would never ever do again.
Yeah,
Based off that scene.
like that was like the thing that made him be like, I'll never take another life like this, you know. So
Yeah, like that was I think that scene in and of itself. Not saying the
because
rest
he's
of the movie,
distraught,
but
he didn't want to do it. He was distraught.
yes,
Yeah,
this is
she
another
just
thing
won't have a
too.
kid. Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of these movies are scared to actually tackle the best shit that these characters have, and that's really when the characters are dark and at their lowest, and then you build them back up
But this
again
ties
when they're
back
great.
into I think my sorry real quick ties back into the
Go ahead.
problem of like we can't tell real stories anymore because of how sensitive some people are or pretend to be or act online. Like to dive into a personal issue that
Tony Stark
actually
alcoholism.
yeah like
It's when
the
he's at his best.
PTSD thing from fighting the Chitauri like didn't move me like that.
That never moved me.
But
Ever.
I understood that was supposed to be the replacement for the Demon in the Bottle storyline, right? But actually, not just making Captain Marvel the most powerful bitch ever and just fuck everybody up and like annoying. It's like no, like actually tackle like the thing that she has to deal with and the fact that she didn't remember her
Because
past as well.
you know damn well that they would never go into the storyline of her where she was raped.
Yeah, they're not gonna do
Ever.
that. And I
Even
don't,
then, even though that wasn't even that good, because Carol's never been that good, other than when she's like backup strong leader character in an Avenger run. Like that's the most I've ever liked her. When she's like, hey, Steve, I'll help you out. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
because I'm the military person. That's
Mhm.
it. That's like when she's at her best for me.
Mhm.
They would never do that, ever.
The Falcon
The
Winter
same
Soldier
way
was not
they're
perfect.
never
It's
gonna
not.
do Planet Hulk.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, there's just too much. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be honest. There's just way too much progressivism in it to me. Too much
Well,
leftism.
there's a lot of that. Well,
And not to say that I want rightism. That's the last thing I want.
yeah, it's
And
like
and I hate
the
the idea that
industry.
comics don't at all touch on like political stuff or like current events or whatever. Cause I hate politics in my comics, and I was like, you like X-Men? What do you think X-Men is
Exactly.
saying?
Like it's this weird thing of the medium has been political since it began,
Yeah.
but it's just we've lost the plot.
It's
Like
like
this.
how Bam is not allowed to suffer in Tower of God. He must always, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't let these
Mhm.
characters go through anything meaningful, and then the actual story arcs that a lot of these characters went through, you poo poo on it. I really think that I almost said Hulk, she Hulk line is really egregious. Where he's talking about the fact that he had to learn to control his anger, be better, this and that. It took a long time, and he was really alone and isolated, and had to really like protect people from him. And then he lost a woman she loved, and she's like, "People can't call me in the streets." Bro, are you fucking serious?
And then Dan Slott,
And
creator
then
of
be
the
like,
longest
"Oh,
running
Captain
She-Hulk
America was
series,
a virgin until Peggy." Like what? Like what are you doing? This is
and
that
then Dan
snarky
Slott
shit I'm
comes out.
talking about. You're
Mhm.
taking these legacy characters that people respect that actually went through good character development and progression, and you're poo pooing on them. What is the reason? I don't
And
understand this.
what's crazy about that one is that I think you remember this when Dan Slott, who religiously most people will know for his Spider-Man run, but also his She-Hulk run, which lasted a long time, came out and said She-Hulk is the most comic accurate thing in the MCU.
Hmm.
That's actually a factual statement. The problem is that She-Hulk's never been good.
Hmm.
Ever.
She-Hulk is like an annoying whore, all things considered. So
She's either that or they try and do serious law stuff that never works. So they
yeah.
constantly
Oh
make her a
yeah, I'm gonna
fourth
be
wall.
She-Hulk in the court and a judge. Like, bro, can I turn
And
this
but
off?
then they always then the constant result back to is what they did in the OG, which wasn't popular, which is why they changed it the first time. Fourth wall breaking, funny shit, which I'm sorry, even though it's repetitive and redundant at this point, Deadpool does it a million times better.
Hmm.
If this is what She-Hulk actually should be, is what Icon is in Milestone Comics.
Okay.
A right-wing leaning lawyer who does superhero shit. Because then, which is actually one of the few good things they did in Civil War, have her and Matt Murdock play their political ideologies and law practices against each other, where they both
Hmm.
want to do the right thing, but they lean different ways. Instead, it's just how does it feel to be a woman in the law industry? Which is like it's the same plot line as how does it feel to be a woman in any male-dominated industry? It sucks. We get it,
And vice
but it's telling
versa.
the same. It's telling the same thing again.
And I can see that it comes across to me that people are getting fed up too. Like, all right, enough of this. Even like women are like, I don't relate to this because like I'm not perfect. Like I struggle. I go through things. Like I have to like improve and fail sometimes. They're like, I don't even
Mm-hmm.
relate. And I'm like, yeah. And this is what I'm talking about. Like earlier in MCU, they used to do these things that are better. Like Steve's like man at a time. Like loneliness and having to deal with that. Peggy's old and not with him right now, and him having to like restart in a new age where he doesn't particularly understand. And a lot of the things that he fought for, they don't mean anything anymore. Like he fought for liberty and freedom and things like that and free speech, and look at what's happening in the world around him. Like that to me is a lot more powerful and palatable than the things they do today. And then remember at the end of that, Shield was gone because Hydra had actually compromised that shit long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
To the point that he was even reprimanding Nick Fury, like, this isn't freedom, bro. This is your Minority Report type thing. You're trying to you can't stop a crime before it happens. It's innocent before proven guilty. Sorry, it's innocent before guilty. So these
A
stories
lot of
now
that,
don't do any of that shit, bro. It's just
even then, certain things like that they choose not to explore. Like, for instance, in the source material, I've never liked Sharon Carter and Captain America as a pairing. It's weird based on who he liked beforehand, and 2 is also lazy because you're repeating the same thing. When I watch Civil War, or not Civil War, Winter Soldier, every time I'm watching it, Captain America and Black Widow would have been an amazing romantic subplot in those movies based off what was happening in it. I get that it also works as a very good friendship for Endgame. I get it, and it was still a good dynamic. But could you have? Because my thing is like you dropped the Sharon Carter thing very quickly to just have him
Yeah.
go back to Peggy.
You're totally
Could
right.
you
You're right
imagine?
because the way Natasha views how she has to do her job is completely different than how Captain America does it. You're actually right with that. I never even thought about it that way. It's a
Could
good point.
you imagine the type of emotional outbreak that would have happened if Nat had been paired with Steve romantically? People would have liked her way more, by the way, if that happened. Like
Her
if they
movie's
had a
ass.
romantic dialogue in from Winter Soldier onward to Endgame. Could you imagine the impact it would have had on audiences if Black Widow had died? If she had been with Captain America? Oh my god! And how good it would have felt if like he lost the woman that he loved in this century, so he goes back to the love of his life in the previous century.
Yeah.
It would have been goaded, but we can't even do that. We have to go with discount. Hey, this is my niece or granddaughter. She's hot too and has the same last name, so you should fuck her as well. Even though we're not going to even do that either.
It also comes across to me too, just real quick, that they're scared they don't want women to have relationships with men, and now like they're not allowed to get together. It's like a feminist power
Single.
icon thing to be like, no, I don't need you. I just need me, kind of thing too. It's like stop
Which is
being
weird because
lame. Love out. Shut up.
it's not
Stop being goofy.
it's not even lesbianism either. I would
Yeah,
take that. At
yeah.
least it's
They don't
something.
even do that. They're just like no on my own type of
You're
thing. You're like
just
all
single.
right, yeah.
And I'm a guy who
She
like
Hulk should be
I'm in a
pivotal.
yeah,
Sorry, let me read a comment quick. Chief team.
go
She
ahead.
Hulk should have been pivotal in Civil War. Yep, I'm out here existing, bro. I'll be alright. She should have understood it's necessary not to disclose identity, and boom, look, a plot line matters to the law. Heroes. It's lazy. You want to be woke. I hate that word, but yeah, you're right. The art of stuff. No, I really hate that. I mean, a new word for that. I hate saying woke now. I hate that.
Oh, we both been
Non-existence.
on that.
Agent
We
of
both hate
fear.
that shit.
The sexual tension between Natasha and Steve was so palpable I could taste it. The mall scene, yeah. Natasha still got paired up with Bruce Banner as mid. I wish what that was, and then they're like, "I'm a monster." It's like me too because I can't get pregnant, and people got mad at that. Like even at the idea that she was like, "I somewhat see myself as a monster because I can't really like conceive." And it's something that's
I
kind of
mean,
integral to the biology of a woman. Not to say that you're
yeah.
not one because you can't. That became a big like sticking point in people ripping apart Age of Ultron, which I don't even think is a great movie.
The intent for that should have been like, this is what the Red Room did to me, and
Yeah,
all the things
like
I had to do.
exactly. It ties back to the
It's
fact
like,
that the where I was raised and what they did to me was inhumane.
but once again, that scene would have been 10 times better if it was Steve Rogers on the other end instead of fucking Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Because Hulk is just, he's not a character in the MCU.
No,
He's not.
Travel. I see this as an absolute win. Shut up, you fucking nerd. I hate that. I don't like Mark Ruffalo either. Sorry. But yeah, man. I can't say that I'm a Thanos stan, but I don't dislike Thanos. But I like Kang more, so I would like this to work better. But I don't know what they're doing.
I'm just
So.
saying, man, Magneto, Galactus, and Doctor Doom are coming, and I have zero faith that they're going to be handled in any way,
I mean,
shape,
look
or
what
form
they did
correctly.
with Galactus. They made him a smoke of cloud.
A
And
cloud.
that shit was so funny.
Disney and Marvel's not going to do that. But even then, like, Galactus doesn't wow me as a character in the source material anyway. But even then, do I expect
I like
a
Galactus.
modicum of a good dynamic between Galactus and Silver Surfer if he's in the MCU? No.
I
No,
like
I did not.
Galactus because when I was a smug and pretentious teenager, I thought like the concept of like the cosmic balance and the grand
Mhm.
design and with creation must come destruction was so fucking like
Yeah.
deep. I thought it was so deep
Mhm.
and profound that he's a cosmic necessity, even though he destroys entire
Yep.
worlds to consume. And then like my first true exposure to Galactus, really understanding it, oddly enough, was actually the first Ultimate Alliance when Doom took his powers.
Yep.
I'm like, this nigga is cold. He just has the planet in the palm of his hand like this. Like, it moved me tremendously. And then that's when I learned about the power cosmic and how cool it was. Even though I was always familiar with like Silver Surfer and stuff, but I never used to look at power sets like that back in the day.
Yep.
So yeah. Natasha still got. Oh yeah, so Mark Ruffalo was cool in the first Avengers movie. After that, he just became a mannequin for the Hulk to spawn from. Yep, I want them to bleed more
Yep.
money so they can sell off some of their IPs. Sick of that fucking mouse. Facts. Disney's trash. Natasha and Steve would have had a lot of intimate moments in regard to Steve's leadership style and contrasting with how she would have, how she was brought up would have actually
Up.
brought
Yeah.
development and made people actually care. Yeah, because she will like lie and deceive, and she's a spy more than anything, right? Double, triple agent. When Steve is kind of like, I take the front lines. Not that he's not going to be covert when he needs to be. That's not the point. But he's not necessarily cool with the idea of deceiving people, and like he wants to do the right thing and be upfront about it. And I think that would have created a really interesting. Like they like each other, love each other, but Steve probably couldn't agree, would be tired of her lying to him about missions and things like that, and it would have been interesting. I agree, actually. Now that you're saying it, I see it. I literally see the vision.
What's the old axiom? Opposites attract.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Oh.
We don't have
But
to go. We don't have to play out the now cliche of hot girl goes for nerdy guy. We don't have
yeah.
to do that
But
because once
okay.
again,
Mhm.
Bruce Banner was with Betty Ross, and that just vanished. That just vanished off the face of the earth.
Yeah. By the way, the guy who was the Secretary of Defense or something, I think he's Ross, if I remember correctly.
Yes,
Red Hulk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
William Hurt
I think he's
died, so
I
now
think
Harrison
yeah,
Ford.
yes, that's what it was. That's I was about to bring that up. That's what I was gonna say. And apparently he's gonna become president.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens with that. So let's talk about the I guess the end of the DCEU and everything like that. I want to talk about this briefly because I've always said this. If it was up to me in the style that they were gonna go for, I would have done. I think a Batman and Superman movie is a big deal, even though it's not a Justice League team up. Having a live action movie with those two is a big deal. I've always said this about Snyder. I like how he directs. I actually like his cinematography and I like the action sequences that he makes for the most part. I'm not necessarily upset or not upset at the liberties he takes with the character because for me, I generally care about execution more than anything. I understand that these are legacy characters with like 80 years of history, Batman, Superman, and whatnot, but I don't need Superman to constantly be like Christopher Reeve's Golden Age Boy Scout or whatever. If you want to give him a little bit of edge, I'm okay with that. It's all about how you execute it. That's my thing more often than
Mm-hmm.
not. That's why I never cry at the Batman killing people thing. Like, I really don't care. He should kill these fucking losers. Fuck these guys. Like, I thought, like, sorry, put the Joker in the fucking dirt and stop playing with me. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't really bother me to that degree. BVS's biggest problem is always. I think Man of Steel is not a bad movie. It's not perfect. It's not a bad movie though. I think it has issues. It's not a bad movie, but the worst part of that movie is how Jonathan Kent dies. It doesn't teach Superman the lesson that he can't save everybody because he could have saved him. It was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I think Smallville has my favorite version of it, with his heart giving out and he couldn't save him because of like him going back in time to save Lana, and then instead of Lana dying, his dad dies, but he can't go back in time to change it again. And it's the idea that you are not a god. You cannot just save everybody and not let anyone die. People will die. I don't think he learns that lesson in that movie. I think they killed him
Snyder
off too
also
quick.
misses. He
Mhm.
also misses the mark on the not a god imagery as well because he
He
loves
loves
making
portraying him as
making
a god
Clark
amongst men.
Jesus.
Yeah,
He loves making him Jesus.
he loves the imagery of doing that too. He does it a lot. BVS, I think the extended edition is a much better than the theatrical. I always tell people judge it by. I do think Zack Snyder tends to film way too much footage though. He has to stop doing that shit. But I don't hate the movie. It's very messy. There's a lot going on that will confuse the average person. The reason that I always admit that I was fine with like the nightmare scene, as jarring as it was, is because I know what it's for. It's because he's horny for injustice. So I get it. I know that storyline already. I've seen Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman in all different types, Elseworld stories and self-contained stories. I've seen them as Superwoman, as Owlman, as
Ultraman.
Ultraman, like all that stuff. Like, so it doesn't particularly bother me to see them in different lights. It's okay. That's what the concept of having so many worlds exists for, right? But I've never liked how Superman was utilized. I always hoped that maybe what would happen is after Justice League, he would have become more of like the Boy Scout that we know. But I've always thought Henry didn't have too much to work with based on how it was. He just had to be like a strong Superman more than he had to be like the good Superman that will spend an hour talking to somebody who's in a tree because they're sad that their mom and dad are getting a divorce or something. You know, like I think that
Mhm.
would have come possibly in time, but it is what it is. They should have. BVS spends so much time trying to set up what will be, it forgets to be its own movie. That's my problem. With the addition of, I think the Doomsday and Lex stuff was too much. You should, if you wanted a BVS conflict, have Batman v Superman, and then the next movie I always say you make it the Holy Trinity, where they fight Doomsday and Lex. You add Wonder Woman now, and then that's your first kind of team up. The first three founding members of the Justice League, Superman, Batman. I think that would have worked as an interim, so you can do an Aquaman, Flash, or Green Lantern movie normally, and then get to Justice League. That's how
Yeah,
I would have done it.
Doomsday should not have been involved in any way,
Killing
shape, or
Superman
form.
that early is not good. You should have used
And
another one.
and
I
even if you had Doomsday, you break the trope and you just have Superman not die. Sorry, like
fair enough.
like I understand that could like throw people off too, but I think it's a better alternative than killing him off rip.
It
That
wouldn't
like
have. It probably would. It wouldn't have bothered me because then I could be like, okay, you beat his ass, didn't die, go. So it works for
because
my agenda.
otherwise the only villain I can see that would have been able to fight the Holy Trinity at that time with Lex being involved might have been Michael Shannon returns as Bizarro. We just make Bizarro zombie Superman instead of alternate
Okay,
Superman,
fair.
or maybe like a souped up Metallo. That's the
Hmm.
most I can see.
He
Because
does like to make characters
otherwise
like
it's
a lot
bringing in an
very
alien.
strong. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise it's bringing like an alien, like a Mongol comes
But
in
I've
or
but I've
something.
always thought they missed the mark of not having this Superman have to just deal with Lex by himself, like just like
Yeah, well,
a human, like on a ground in a more grounded level. So the
yeah.
first one is like I'm actually okay with the idea that his first outing as Superman he has to fight Kryptonian stuff, and I always thought like it they did a decent
But
job with
Lex should
this.
have been in the movie. He should have been in the movie.
Yeah, yeah. They would
Yeah.
done it would have been decent if I like the idea that Superman was there longer, so he had more like he was more used to his powers, so he was better with
Mhm.
them. Even though like Jod would be a better general and better at military might and combat and hand to hand and stuff, like whatever. But my actual biggest problem with that is when Kryptonians fight, it's the equivalent of two humans fighting. They both should have bled more. That's actually my only problem. I think they needed to bleed
Yeah.
in that fight scene. I didn't like that they were like completely unscathed, but maybe that was just like a I don't know budget decision or something. I don't know. Um, so I was after that Suicide Squad. Was it Aquaman after or Wonder Woman? Wonder Woman was good. The first one was good.
Wonder Woman was after. The first Wonder Woman movie was good.
The second one is Stick on
And
the Ground. Aquaman, I think the script is fucking shit, but I don't dislike the movie.
everything else is fine.
Yeah,
I had fun.
yeah. I don't know what they're gonna do with two. I have no idea what the movie's supposed to be about. I heard it's about climate change.
I
Um,
mean, that's a trope we should do with Aquaman, but do I trust them to do it correctly?
no, they're
No.
gonna make it very preachy and moderny, like carbon emissions. Oh, we'll use gas. Turn
If
your
you
TV off.
actually want to do environmentalism with Aquaman, what I want you to do is I want you to literally show it to me. I want this man to literally lift the Great Pacific trash pile out of the
Yeah,
ocean and throw it onto the mainland and said, get this shit the fuck out of my kingdom.
yeah.
That's what I want.
Hmm. That Wonder Woman the bullet deflect scene is still crazy. It is. The no kill rule is done when it comes to big name murders. I understand not wanting to show restraint, but at a certain point you're just allowing more. That's what I say. The Joker escapes Arkham and fills up another cemetery of people. You're not a good person. I don't
At the
care.
very least, well, you can read what I said after that, because then
Yeah.
this is what I.
The no kill rule just needs to be circumvented to let them die to save someone else rule. Yeah. Or like Batman in the first Batman Begins where he's like, I don't have to save you. Something like
Mm-hmm.
that. If you live, you live. you know?
Well, it's like, hey, you can either you fought me, you stopped this one bomb from here going off, but there are 3 more around the city they're going to blow up. So you have to choose between either letting me die here or saving the people. And
Mhm.
Batman's like, fuck you. I'm saving the rest of the city.
Exactly.
And that's how you get Joker out of there.
Yep. And accidents happen, punch enough people in the face, you'll probably kill one of them accident. Actually, Spider Man's done that before. in some versions of his origin story when he's getting accustomed to, because he has to like roll with hits when he gets hit by a human so he doesn't break their hand and shit like that. He's punched somebody too hard and killed them. I remember that. Isn't Doomsday's whole shtick getting stronger every time he dies, just like Doomsday kill him later? You could do that too. It's not necessarily I don't know if I don't necessarily know if you get supposed to get stronger. It's supposed to be that the way that you killed him no longer works. So let's say he was
Yes.
susceptible to fire and you burned him to death. When he resurrects, you can no longer burn him to death. You have to freeze him to death. After you freeze him to death, like if you beat him to death, like the idea is he's so hard to put down because you've run out of ways to kill him. So you have to do something weird like
Yeah.
banish him to the Phantom Zone or like split his body up in part.
or remove him from existence through
Exactly.
like the Spectre coming in and helping you, like some shit like that.
I do think in Snyder's version, he was like accumulating energy and dispersing it and becoming more of the like bone protrusion version of Doomsday instead of the Ninja Turtle version that we saw when he first like
Popped
was.
out,
Yeah. So, but I would ask you like, obviously you probably like me, the DCEU was a failure.
Yes.
Do you think the Zack Snyder trilogy was a failure, or do you think it was just it's a solid trilogy? Like it's not the worst, not the best, but it's fine.
I think for what it's attempting to do, yes, I think it was a failure. The movies in and of themselves, Man of Steel and Zack Snyder's Justice League, okay to good.
I like the Snyder Cut a lot. I like that movie a lot.
Yeah. BVS.
I just don't like the Wonder Woman. Yeah. I don't know why that bothers me. She has a lit soundtrack. Used
slow-mo and repeating music tracks was big fun. But like BVS is weird. BVS is there are a lot of things in it. It's
so messy.
like there are
I'm never
times
mad at people not liking it. I just because I have so much DC knowledge, I could just streamline things and like I could just fill in the blanks myself. If that makes sense.
Yeah, like there's so many things in it that I think are good. Like I love Ben Affleck as Batman. I know. I love him. I think he did a fantastic job. I don't care what anybody says because I respect the man as a human being, an actor, and a director, like every sense of the word. Love Ben Affleck and everything he's been in and everything he's done, except for Daredevil because that shit was ass. But we're gonna forget
never saw it
for this. Yeah,
to this day, that and Elektra and the Ghost Rider, like never saw them.
I watch Ghost Rider. Guilty pleasure movies for me. They're awful, but I love watching them. But
you know what?
Regardless,
we all have those.
Yes,
we all have those. Like this is not good, but I like it. That's not that mid beating. Keep going.
But like Batman in especially BVS, I loved it. Even with the killing shit, loved it. But it's like Doomsday and Lex and it's clear it's the fucking classic One Piece 7 out of 10 setup chapter. This is the fucking 4 to 5 out of 10 setup movie. Like what are we?
There's just too much in there, man. With the files he found with the other leaguers, there's just too much. If he had reined it in, I think it would have been received a lot better.
Doomsday should not have been in it.
Yeah.
Certain things in this in those movies that he made, like the bracelet clash thing, I've never liked. Her only being able to jump, I've never liked. One thing I'm gonna yell. It doesn't
bother me.
I
can't say I love it.
Yeah, I got you. One thing I'm gonna yell at the industry about until the end of time: get Wonder Woman away from shields. She does not need them. She has the bracelets. What is the point of the shield? Fuck the shield. I don't want it. Get it out.
Why? Really? The shield doesn't bother me. But like
I hate it.
But
it's
like
you
from what I remember,
bracelet.
she brings the sword and the shield for very specific types of fights, though. Like not,
but now,
like usually it's just the rope and her tiara and the cufflinks. You're right.
Yes.
Like more often than not, that's what she rolls with. But like, let's say she's gonna fight a war or somebody she's planning to put down permanently, she brings her sword and shield. I agree with that.
My thing is, I'm okay with the sword being there all the time.
Yeah.
My stipulation is the shield's redundant. The bracers are literally unbreakable. If you're gonna attack me with your sword, or if I can deflect bullets with it, why can I just not put my arm up to block the sword with the bracelet on it?
Maybe the shield is a bigger thing to block with. I don't know. Maybe it's just practicality. I don't know.
I was like, I hate it. I understand Greek warrior, but what? She's Wonder Woman, man. She's fucking different. Let her be different. And the other thing I'll say, if you're gonna give her a sword, can we make the sword special, please, instead of just being some bumfuck random sword that like does nothing?
It is it comes. I don't know, like what is that made out of? Like Themyscirian metal?
Can
Like
we give this Wonder Woman sword like the Master Sword Olympus Os, please? Can we like
yeah,
forged by Hephaestus, blessed by Zeus and Ares and Athena? Like fuck it, make it
yeah,
OD.
yeah. I'm with you. The term setup movie is crazy. Yeah, it is. But even people every
That's what
time
it was.
set up chapter. All right, 7 out of 10. All right, set up chapter. Yeah, yeah. We're setting up the setup for the setup.
Yep.
Tired of setting up.
Now we're getting into James Gunn shit where we are dealing with
So yeah, let me pull this. Let me
creature
pull.
commandos
I
and the
wanna.
authority.
The only reason that the creature commandos thing made me like smile is because I know my boy from France and he fuck I remember his name, but I know he did the drawing. I know his art style is very distinct to me.
Oh,
So I was like,
Radiant guy, Radiant guy.
give me a second. Give me a second.
Okay.
Creature
Also,
commandos.
we pray for France because apparently you're all down bad with something regarding Islam. No idea what that is, but
Yeah, France looks like it's in like a civil war. I don't know what's going on.
wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, this looks like it looks crazy out there. Like, what is going on? What is my boy's name? See, I don't know what the ID what that IDW is. Gonna give me the actors. Commandos. It's like YVLS something like that. What the fuck is my boy's name? Balak something. It's Balak something. Anyways, yeah, but he's done some dope things in French that I like. But yeah, I don't know what he's doing. But let me catch up. So you told me you said that they already found the Superman that they're gonna use, right? Let me look at
And
this guy.
Lois. And Lois.
Oh,
I think in terms of look, I think they're both good.
okay.
In terms of acting, I only know of one of them. That's the actress for Lois.
Superman Legacy 2025. His name is David uh Corn Sweat,
Corson Sweat
Corn
or
Scent, and
something like
it's a
that.
girl
Yeah.
Rachel.
Rachel Brosnahan.
Okay. James Gunn confirms Superman Legacy is skipping his origin story. Legacy will ditch one huge Clark Kent tradition. Okay, let me see the actors. Oh my god, my ad blocker is blocking everything. I'm not taking it out. I guess I could type the guy's name in. David for let's see this guy.
Yeah, that's right.
From that one picture I saw, he's got pretty. He looks like he has the jaw, like the square.
The both have the look. I'll
Okay.
say that much.
Let me show y'all. Well, in case you didn't see, I didn't see. I haven't been following it. I don't dislike James Gunn necessarily. I just want to know how he beat the allegations. And my boy Jonathan Majors, he not. What he do wrong?
Well, he might be now. He might be now.
Yeah. So this to me looks like the best picture, but Superman doesn't typically rock his facial hair. But he's got like the square chin. I think that would work well. I don't mind how he looks. I've never seen him act, so I don't know. But okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Henry Cavill. You didn't. I thought you are better. Is this the girl?
Yes.
Oh, she's fine. Oh, she's pretty. I have no
I've
problem with her.
watched in particular for Rachel. I've seen her act. She's an Emmy Award winner, but it was in a comedy series that I've watched. I've watched all 5 seasons of. It's called The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and it's about a Jewish female comedian in the 1950s and 60s trying to make her way into the business.
Okay.
And I think as an actor, I think playing Lois Lane is perfect for her. Like I think it's a good casting, but casting and acting doesn't necessarily reflect script writing quality.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's
Because
the
as much
one
as
thing. It's
Henry
like you.
Cavill, I think has such a good Superman look. I don't like how he ever got utilized for the most part. I think
Yeah.
in Justice League towards the end when he came back, we're getting more things that I liked about him. Him and Lois together, him and talking, and then when he's like not impressed, stuff like that. That was dope. But other than that, my favorite live action Kal-El still Tom Welling. So not Superman, I guess, but that's why I said Kal-El, Clark Kent. But yeah.
Yeah.
DC needs to make more origin stories for their villains. Doomsday movie with the process would be wild. Make it between Superman 3. Well, Doomsday. Well, Doomsday, depending on which version you want to do, like when he's a Kryptonian experiment, I
It doesn't need a
suppose.
movie.
But I don't think that it needs its own film. You can have a scene in the movie that
Doomsday.
explains it. But
Here's my thing.
yeah,
Doomsday doesn't need a movie until you've had like at least 4 or 5 Superman movies
and
and
you
like
want
a
to kill
couple
him.
Justice Leagues.
Yeah, and you're ready to
Yes.
kill him or get him out the paint for a while at the very least because he doesn't die
Yes.
necessarily. He goes into that resting sleep state, whatever it was called. So yeah.
Yep.
A kid got murdered by the police, from what I understood, in France. That's why the whole country's on fire. I saw like Marseille on fire, Lille
I
on
kept seeing
fire.
something about like it was like Islamic immigrants are burning shit down. That's what I saw.
I think I did see that, but I have no context. I didn't. I didn't. I didn't.
Neither do
I
I.
didn't. I didn't like. And I didn't like. I didn't see it and like get intrigued. I just went. I mean, y'all live there, so you want to destroy it. So it's your life, and I just kind of moved on.
Yep.
But I'm like that with geopolitical stuff. I was like, listen, I'm the guy who's like, I don't care till it comes here. Okay,
Yeah.
take it. You might think I'm an asshole or evil. It is what it is. All right. It's like, what if it happened to you? Then I'd care. Like,
Yep.
people say that to me like it's a bar, like I'm a fool. Like I would care if it happened to me. It's not happening to me, so I don't. That makes me evil, so be it. They did it with the Joker. Here's the thing about that film. I don't like it. I'll be honest with you. I
It's
don't think it's
hella
bad.
Elseworld too.
I think it's boring as fuck. I think it's a boring ass movie. I don't
It's
know if
hella
it's good or
Elseworld.
bad, but I think it's boring. Granted, though, I do not care about the Joker, and if there is one character I do not want an origin story for, it's the Joker. I don't like the red under the wait. Killing
Yeah,
Joke.
it's another Red
Killing Joke. Killing Joke.
Or
Killing
yeah,
Joke.
Killing Joke.
Killing
Yeah.
Joke. I don't care for that. I didn't care for the Jack Nicholson, you created me, whatever kind of thing. But that's fine, I suppose, if he was some random hit or whatever. But like, I like the idea of the Prince of
Dark Knight did
Crime.
it best.
It's just this dude that came out of nowhere. And what does he want? He just wants to cause chaos. He doesn't want the money. He doesn't want the political power. He just wants to fuck around. And Batman is his favorite plaything. His favorite
Mhm.
person to play with is Batman. He's playing.
This is
I
what
like that.
happens when you bring your friends into this crazy little game of ours. That's
Yeah.
the character to a T.
hmm Black Adam, even though he's not really a villain or a hero, was all about perspective. But I feel it. I never watched them. I fell asleep. I might finish it tonight and finish it. But Black
The
Adam,
minute
I
I
like.
heard,
I'm not a Shazam guy. I'm not watching Fear of the Gods though. I'm not doing it. I don't care. I
the
didn't like the
minute I
first.
heard Doc,
I didn't like the first one.
the minute I heard Doctor Fate got killed by Sabak in that movie, I'm like, there's no fucking.
It's not worse than Icicle, bro. Can't believe Smallville did that. I'll never forget it for that. That's a fire episode. I'm like, you cannot have Doctor Fate lose to the Icicle, bro. Stop it. Then he put the Fate
like
helmet on. I'm like, stop this.
this man Kent Nelson has fought the Spectre before,
Oh,
and like, we
that's
didn't do
serious.
it.
Unserious, bro. Just unserious. I don't know what's going on there, but not saying it's a good movie, just saying it's possible. Oh, okay. Well, I heard that The Rock was doing weird things, like he didn't want Shazam to be in the movie or some shit like that.
That
I
shit
don't
was
know.
like, bro,
I didn't really
what are you
follow it though.
doing?
What happened exactly? I guess.
Well, I know everything he was trying to do was like power play to get like DC under his thumb. Essentially, that's what I've heard. But like, I didn't watch the movie. The minute I heard that the Shazam shit was nixed, like the people wanted to have Shazam in it, and he didn't want. It, I was like, dude, that's like your main opponent. The fucking. Well, I understand you want to fight Superman and shit and it'd be cool and all, but like, this is Shazam we're talking about.
Yeah. But all right. I have two more things I want to speak about. I'll get to this because I've been waiting. I've been sitting on it for a while. I want you guys in the chat to weigh in. Do you think that it's necessary to connect everything in these types of universes and whatnot? So MCU, DCEU, and everything. Do you think it's fine? Let's say, I don't know, the Kang dynasty ended tomorrow, and Marvel didn't really have any plans, and they just kind of wanted to start making solo films again of like random characters and not necessarily connecting them. Would that be a problem? Um, I want to the best example I can use for DC is like the Batman and the Joker because those are not supposed to be part of like the DCEU or whatever, like their own standalone films, and I think those are fine to have still. I know that Batman's going to be its own trilogy, and it's probably going to have more Batman mythos stuff in it. But Robert Pattinson, you might never cross over with like I don't know Ray Fisher or whatever the case may be. and I don't think I think that's fine. I don't think you have to constantly connect everything all the time. But if you're gonna do it, don't you fucking half-ass it. But where do you stand on that?
I think for most people, we're too far gone to not have, at the bare minimum, most of the things being put out for the IPs being connected.
Okay.
Um, I think
Is it
there is a
really?
place for Elseworlds. I think there's a place for Elseworlds side stories, but a lot of that's going to have to come with cachet for the character. Like for instance, Logan works because it's about who? Wolverine.
Yep.
If somebody wanted to do, even though this run is fucking trash, if somebody wanted to do one more day for Spider-Man where they show him interacting with Mephisto
Mm,
and he's trying to like get his life back together as like a one-off thing for Spider-Man, it's like Spider-Man at his lowest. They could at his lowest. They could because it's Spider-Man. Like
okay.
if you wanted to, it's like this Blue Beetle movie. I think is a perfect example because it's fucking weird where it's at in this DC thing because it's not Snyder, but it's coming before your Superman Legacy movie, which is apparently supposed to be the beginning of your whole thing. But you're also saying that Superman Legacy is going to come in where there are already superheroes on Earth that are active before Clark's even there, which is also fucking weird as shit. That have Superman not be the first person to openly display superpowers on your planet.
Mm.
um,
It's what I'm
and I
used to
think
for the most part.
it gets into a weird, messy gray area. I think it's going to be looked at as that now
Mm,
because of what Marvel's done.
okay. So your general point is that because of where we are already, it's too late.
Yes,
Okay, that's
for the
fair.
most part. Like you could do it with Batman. Yes,
Hmm.
with it would have to be for solo characters and ones that people really know and that ones have actual something to work with for a solo thing.
Because I'm under the impression for right now, DC should do both. Continue doing like the Matt Reeves thing, Joker and Harley Quinn, whatever, but let those just be their own self-contained whatever the fuck. I don't know if James Gunn's already spoken on those being Elseworld or something.
Yes. Yes.
And then whatever universe he wants to make, have that connect, whatever the case is. But I don't think it's necessary. I almost kind of want DC. Well, the thing about it with DC is because I didn't really get it right. There's a part of me that wants to see them kind of get it right, though. But I think they should continue on with what they're doing. So Matt Reeves like little trilogy he's doing or whatever, and then the little Joker trilogy if it's gonna be a trilogy. Because people want his name Joaquin Phoenix, I think they want him
Mm-hmm.
to cross over with Reeves, with Patterson.
Well,
So
Reeves, yeah, but these people probably. I mean, Reeves already has a Joker. Like we
okay,
clear as day seen that in that movie.
yeah. So and the second reason why I'm not a big fan of the connecting universe stuff is because I do think that when you do it eventually, no matter what, you have to go multiversal. That's fine though, right? But I don't like how they use the multiverse. They use it to just have characters return and be cameos and be like nostalgia and this and that, or just kill everybody off. But it's like, oh, it's not our version though, so we don't really care, kind of thing. Like, I can't say that the comics and cartoons haven't done this themselves because even like when I was watching Days of Future Past and everyone was dying, I'm like, oh, we're gonna rewrite this. like
Yeah.
when superheroes and villains fight and die that easily, I always know we're gonna rewrite the timeline or something of sort is gonna happen. Even with like the Justice League, like Dark Side Apocalypse, and they became those like cyborg abominations or whatever. I knew Flash
Yeah.
was like when fucking Constantine was like, "All right, bro, go run." I said,
Yeah.
I was waiting for that shit. I knew it was gonna happen.
Because this is the problem with the multiverse as a concept, in my opinion, in almost every way. It's like you ride the line of you have impactful things happen only for them to be reversed because of the people they're happening to, or you have things happen to people nobody gives a fuck about, so it doesn't matter what happens to them.
Mm,
And I'd say 99% of the time, that's the outcome for both of them. We have something where, hey, Wonder Woman dies in universe 3654 reversed because we have to now have the third Wonder Woman movie come out in 2024 or some shit like that.
yeah.
Or it's the other thing of uh Scarlet Spider, who was first introduced in this Spider-Man movie, who nobody's ever met, who's mid as fucking general anyway, kill his ass. Well, we don't care. because it's Scarlet Spider.
Yep.
So it's this weird thing of it's very hard to win. The only time I've seen multiverse work, which is something we'll get to later, is Invincible, but because of the specific way that it's done.
We will segue into that after this. This is why I brought this up first. So Nara said it's not necessary. You have shit like the Runaways who got an interesting story, but they don't have to do shit in terms of anything important. And honestly, shit like that builds the universe better due to the fact that the big guy affect
Affects
little
the little
guys, and the
guys.
entire multiverse is literally for that. Everything don't gotta be connected, and especially for something like Disney, it's clear that people making these connections between movies and TV shows aren't on the same page when it comes to lore explanation or concepts. Agreed. There's like three different. There is like 3, 4 explanations for the multiverses and parallel timelines. I don't give a shit anymore. The jargon to main characters survive stuff that insta kills their multiverse copies. Pretty much. Kang, Kang basically. Also, um, Quantum Maid had a bad habit of like I like that at least when Janet touched the I actually don't know what his chair is called. I forgot what it's called. But his like neurokinetic multiversal travel chair that
Mhm.
you see Kang destroying timelines. It's brief and it's quick and it's like a mother and child die, but you can like see why that would like a mother and like child died and she was talking about the last thing she did was lie to her daughter that she'd be right back. You know? Like that made sense to me. Him being like, "Oh, you're an Avenger? Are you the one with the hammer?" Oh, yeah, no, you all blur together. Like that's telling me you're not showing me. And then when I see you in action, you get fucked. You lose to ants. You fucking stink. I hate you. But yeah, um, what about the idea of things taking place in the same universe, but and occasionally might cross paths for whatever reason, but it's not necessarily interconnected to that degree. So, maybe like DC makes 6 movies that are kind of like separate, but for some reason, Flash comes to Gotham because he needs Batman's help figuring out some serial killer case because he can't figure it out. What do you think about that?
In the Button.
Sure.
Even though
Well, fair enough. Yeah, yeah,
we take the Watchmen shit out of it, of course, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um,
You think that would work better, maybe, or still that's still like
yeah.
the
I
same
mean, I
thing.
think that they kind of did that with this Flash movie a little bit because if I recall, there was a scene that I saw on the internet trending where Wonder Woman's there to just help Affleck's Batman and Barry, like with that car chase, if I recall.
Oh yes, I think. Oh yeah, when they fall off the cliff, Wonder Woman like helps
Hmm.
them up, but yeah, I don't know. In every one of trilogy got Kang saying, "Ant-Man, you are an Avenger. Did I already kill you?" Yeah, that was line raw, execution trash. Yeah, it wasn't. I was like, that's funny, because like you could tell that he's obviously just playing around with Scott. He didn't because he did like the idea. I want to get like sometimes I get the idea, but it's the execution. The idea is that his hubris and his overconfidence and arrogance and the fact that he saw Ant-Man the same way a lot of people see him as a very inconsequential hero that's not important or strong or a threat to anybody is what took him down. But it's just not wasn't done well in a way that's believable based on what we know he's already done. Like the other Kangs couldn't beat him, so they exiled him out of space and time, which would make I obviously know this, but this will obviously make this one of the strongest versions of Nathaniel Richards. I know Morris
Hmm.
is the end game of Nathaniel Richards, and there's like Ramatat and Scarlet Centurion and Kid
Uh,
Immortus and all that stuff, but
yeah,
it's
Iron
like
Lad.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to remember. I always want to call him Iron Centurion, but I knew that was wrong.
Yeah.
Iron Lad and stuff because that version didn't
Yeah,
want to
that's another
become
thing
Kang.
too.
Yeah.
Like that character trope of him being arrogant is usually a trope of a Kang that is, hey, I've conquered my timeline,
Mhm.
which is filled with bums. I
Exactly.
because at the period of time, it's like the superheroes don't really exist that well in like his period of time, and it's like the arrogant Kang usually comes in the first time he fights the Avengers.
Mm.
Most of the time after that, even though he still has that, he's not really underestimating people
Mhm.
a lot. He's getting them out of here, and then if it's people he hasn't met before, he's like, "Well, I'm from the future, so fuck you. I can just use these
Exactly.
easily." But it's like if I've seen you before, Kang usually doesn't fuck around if he's fighting you like a second, third, fourth time.
Exactly.
So if I've met Ant Man before, I clearly know what Ant Man's capabilities are. Ants shouldn't be able to fuck with me. Especially if this Kang is like probably the most seasoned out of any form of Kang that initially fights the Avengers in a prime universe
Mhm.
that I've probably ever heard of. Because when Kang comes into 616 Comics, he's not a timeline destroyer.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I've taken over like this, but he's taken over timelines. He hasn't wiped segments of the multiverse off the map
They're
until
they're
like it's been added retroactively.
they're doing like a Thanos thing with him, where they're trying to give him like a fake noble
The
cause.
Great
If that makes sense.
Destroyer
Yeah.
shit as well.
In one of the trailers, you got Kang saying, "Ant-Man, you are an Avenger. Did I already kill you?" But that line was the line that made me watch the movie. Then they pulled that line in the movie. Not a fan of worlds where heroes exist and the hero friends don't show up when big shit's happening. I agree with that. Scarlet Centurion, especially for people as busted Superman and the Flash. True, 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 true. Yeah. So basically, what we're trying to do with Kang is that the idea is that he's already skipped to the end of time to see what happens because the multiverse is such chaos, and he's the one that's going to create a sacred timeline and wipe out all the branches and make it like, I guess, neat and tidy and not have, he calls the other Kangs or version of himself children playing with the multiverse and time and space. So the idea is like, oh, I have to destroy half of life so there's enough nutrients and food and resources for the other half of the galaxy, which was always stupid for like me and you, because we're like, there's beings who don't eat, who don't require food or sustenance, they just exist,
And
and
also,
things of
the
that nature.
universe is ever expanding up until a point because we'll
Yeah,
get to the once we get to heat death, it'll start shrinking.
yeah, so
It's still expanding until then.
it's just weird. And like with this one, it's more like Kang is like, no, I'm doing it because if I'm not the version of myself that takes over, there's going to be disorder. So that's kind of what they're trying to do so far. But he's already skipped to the end of time. The way that I explain it to my friends, for anyone who may be confused, maybe or not, but just to give, it's the idea that um I'm able to like see the next season of the NBA. I already know the winner of the NBA championship. I may not have watched every single game and know how many wins they have or how they get there and what seed they end up as, but I've already seen the outcome and I don't like it. So I gotta fix shit. It's kind of like that. That's how I took it, based on how they explained it, at least. Because I don't think Marvel's done a good job explaining the multiverse. I think they've made it. They've done the SIU thing. Remember when SIU was playing the mirror in the hidden floor,
Yeah,
and then when we
yeah.
when we like put our brains together, we're like, wait a minute, this is not even as complicated as he made it seem. Why did he explain it like a
Yep.
dickhead? It's kind of like that. That was the main idea behind Loki show, as far
Kang,
as I
honestly,
understand.
it's
That
just like
he already had a universe pruned together, single timeline. That's why I made the point earlier that he who remained may be what Kang the Conqueror is supposed to become. He's supposed to destroy the other versions of himself, win, and create the sacred timeline. So maybe this
why
is an
can't we
earlier
just?
point.
This is my other thing with the industry. Why can't we just make villains evil? Like, why can't Kang just be like a narcissist? Be like, hey, my way's better. Fuck you. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna take it because I want it. What's
Or
the
like,
problem
oh,
with
why
that?
are you doing this? Because I
Is
can.
this weird thing where people act like strength of presence on screen as a villain is like trumped by
Or it's enough.
empathetic
It's not
or
enough. Yeah,
sympath or it's like it's not as like you need empathetic or sympathetic motivation to make the villain work. No, Doctor Doom is the goat. There is nothing empathetic or sympathetic about his motivations for being evil at all. The only thing
despite the
empathetic or
fact that he
sympathetic,
has the Mephisto stuff with his mom's soul. Despite that,
yes, like
he does not
yeah,
care.
that's a whole other thing. It's like his relationship with his mother and Victoria, not the Fantastic Four's dumbass children. Fuck her and Franklin. I'm talking about Doom's love interest. Completely different. It shows that he's still like a quote human being at his core. Magneto, a racist son of a bitch, but justified because of what has happened to him. Still evil as shit. But it's again, it's like there's empathy and sympathy in what happened to him, but then how he takes it, it's a superiority complex.
Yeah.
That's not empathetic or sympathetic.
He believes
He's
mutants
only
are superior to Homo sapiens, Homo superior.
like literally Magneto literally was tortured by the Nazis and then took on a flip side Nazi philosophy. He's literally preaching the mutant Aryan race.
There you go.
That's literally what he is.
I don't know. It seems like a lot of people tend to need a character to be tragic, and it's like, it's not his fault. It's because his dad dropped him when he was a baby and abandoned him in the forest, and that's why he's like it's like shut
Broly.
up, man. Now I was actually thinking of out the joke I make for Vampire Diaries with Niklaus, where I'm like,
Mhm.
bro, this shit happened like over 100,000 years ago. You're still tweaking about this shit. You are a immortal vampire. Stop being a hybrid. Stop being a pussy. Oh my god. Magneto's
Yep.
goaded. Kang's more like this. Yes, he is a conqueror. That's why he said, "I am a warrior." I don't want to hear no slander. Magneto's goaded. Yeah, of course. Magneto's that dude. Magneto's more of an
Magneto's
anti-hero nowadays. Yeah,
yeah, but that's the point
Homo
I'm trying to make.
superior
Magneto's
facts.
that guy. Magneto's
Yeah,
that guy, but he is at his core an evil person.
I think the
He is
point that
not
Glam is
sympathetic.
making is like how I like. It's like how I see what's the example we just used. That's crazy. I already forgot. We said Magneto and
Doctor
someone
Doom.
else. Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom's like story with his mom's soul with Mephisto and him doing what he had to do to save her and stuff is like heartfelt. But he's not like, dude, why are you doing this? Because Mephisto took my. I want to. I'm smarter than. I'm better than you. like, like,
I'm the
like,
best.
exactly.
In
Like.
every
I like
future
that.
I see, the only ones that work out are where I'm in
If I
charge.
don't
But even
guide the
though those
human
can't.
race, we are cooked. It has to
Yep.
be me. I'm better. I'm smarter. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
like that. Yes, Dio's dad was a dickhead and abused his mom or whatever. But I always like when Speedwagon goes, "Oh no, I know a piece of shit when I see one, because I'm a piece of shit." That nigga would have turned out like this, no matter what happened to him. He is evil incarnate. Thank you. I don't mind sometimes when a person is just a bad guy. I don't need it to be. You see, you don't understand because if I don't do this, how are you gonna feed? Shut up. Shut up. You don't have to do that every single time. There's a time and place for it. That's just my opinion, though.
It's like let's for because people's audiences there. Let's cater to the audience here. Anime, for instance.
Mhm.
Madara is way better as a villain. This is like, this is my vision of the Shinobi world that I want. Not there's no peace in our time, so I must give people peace by putting them in an eternal dream state that doesn't actually solve the problem that I'm trying to fix in any way, shape, or form. It's
Just puts
like
you in an illusion.
no,
Like what? You're putting me in a pot
own
to eat the
it,
bugs?
own the evil.
Yes.
Yes,
And that's why I always like motherfuckers like Dio. Like Kira is a
own the
serial
evil.
killer. A little
Be
different.
Frieza.
Yeah. Yes. Not what he became in
Be
Super, but
Frieza.
yeah. Just like you fucking monkeys. I don't like y'all.
I'm I'm more better. Like, we need more villains that are just I'm more better and are in a certain way right.
Exactly. All right. Invincible. Invincible season
Good
2
shit.
is going to tackle the multiverse arc. And I want to clarify a couple of things. Some people have misunderstood that
Extremely enough
because
point.
Marvel and DC are doing this, that this is why Invincible decided to do this. That's not the case. The second thing I want to say is this is an actual story arc in it that they're like actually adapting, and it's really well done. Like Lamb said, I actually argue is one of the best multiverse related stories that I've read. I think part of that comes from the fact that it's one creative team and one kind of writer instead of multiple cooks in the kitchen. So it's a lot more cohesive and well planned out because it's kind of one person's vision. But it's not like
The
a I can understand why some people will be a little bit tired of the multiverse stuff, but it's not what you think it is. Go ahead.
the reason why this version of the
No, I'm
multiverse
not gonna spoil
works.
anything. I'm not gonna spoil anything.
Well,
Go
no,
ahead.
I'm not going to say what it is. I'm going to say
Yeah.
the concept of it. Like, the reason why this multiverse works is because Kirkman brought the multiverse to the main setting. He did not throw our characters into the multiverse.
That's a good point.
That's the way you do it. Because the way classic DC did it would be like, there's an incursion from this alternate dimension we have to deal with. That's technically a different universe. But they're
Mhm.
not traveling into it or spending a significant amount of time dealing with it, or they're also not dealing with the overall health of a multiverse system, which is what usual multiverse tropes devolve into. Perfect example: comic book Spider-Verse, Multiverse of Madness, Flashpoint, all shit that I matter and do not affect characters we care about, because the characters we care about are going to escape this every single time. Invincible's just, there is a problem involving multiple versions of something attacking us, and we have to deal with it. Boom. Done. Goated. Raw. Literally led to one of the best fights in the whole goddamn story.
Oh,
amazing.
They're not ready, bro.
Also, your camera's off, by the way, on the stream.
I turned it off because I was lagging, but it didn't help. So
oh, okay. Never mind.
I'm gonna turn it back on and go downstairs. But keep going.
Okay. Well, like, yeah, like that's essentially the point. So when people are, people that say things like, "Oh, they copied Marvel and DC," you haven't read it, so shut up.
Yeah, I saw
You haven't
someone
read it,
named
shut up,
Poe's
don't know what
Law.
the fuck you're
They
talking
said,
about.
"Shut up, I hate you." Like that's exactly what I was thinking to myself. I was like, I just hate y'all. I just really do. Cause like one thing I have to say about Spider-Verse
No, go ahead.
discourse is awful. Oh my god, these niggas didn't deserve that movie. All they're talking about is black. Give Miles a black love interest. I'm like, shut up. What's wrong with you guys? You guys just hate everything. We're not for you, man. Shut up. Shut the fuck up, y'all annoying. Can't stand them. Piss me off. They piss me off. I'm gonna find that tweet though. I feel it's so hilarious. But yeah, don't fear. I think you guys are gonna. I mean,
that's like, and then
though me and Glam are
every other
not as high as the on the cartoon it is, I am happy that you guys are getting to experience Invincible in some way, shape, or form. And most of the people that I'm close with have decided to read it, like Simi and stuff. So I'm not so I'm good, you know. Like Simi's reading it, all that stuff. So
yeah,
I'm not gonna cry. Well, I think this guy's name was Poe's Law on I don't know. I might have to go through my tweets. But is there anything superhero related? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was like, oh boy, here go the fireworks. They're popping off.
Oh yeah. I mean, I had that 3 days ago, so I went to the beach though that day because Canada's Day is July 1st. Happy 4th, anybody who cares. If you're American, by the way. USA.
America.
USA.
Say go
That
say
was so enthusiastic. America. America. Fuck yeah. I can't believe I like that movie. I love that movie. It was hilarious. I don't know. I can't find a tweet. I'm lazy. Did you at all? I just saw a couple of things and we'll wrap up. Did you at all follow any of the things that were happening with that Suicide Squad game, Killer Justice League? I saw like a couple more scenes. Apparently, I don't know. I'm really not excited about the concept of the game. But yeah,
the minute I saw the gameplay, I was like, no.
Oh, there's a gameplay.
We're
I
not
didn't even
doing
know that.
jetpack third person. Yes, we're not doing jetpack third person ability or pseudo ability grapple shooter. We're not doing this. I do not need Just Cause Suicide Squad. No. Yeah. especially when I'm being forced to play as the media darling version of the Suicide Squad, which is Deadshot and 3 bums.
Yeah.
I like fuck King Shark. Even though Captain Boomerang's an OG, he's mid as fuck, and I prefer him on the Rogues. And fuck Harley Quinn. Go back to.
I didn't hallucinate that. I thought I was high. There's no way that's
tired
real.
of you on your own.
Yeah, I feel it. That's crazy. And Ponzu just made this. I thought I had a fever dream about that isekai with the Suicide Squad. That was real. I swear I was high on. See, now it wasn't real.
Oh yeah, that's real. That's real.
Oh my fucking god! All right, I hate it. I hate it already. Not really related, but people were deep throating Spider Punk. I wasn't really buying into the hype. I'm with you. I didn't think. I thought Spider-Man India was far more interesting than he was, but that's just me. The thing that I like about I'm gonna say it now. I want you to watch it, but I'll leave it at that for now. It's on between apes. Let me see.
Also, not gonna lie, that Kill the Justice League game in and of itself to me is like, these four have no chance beating anybody on that team. Like, none. Brainiac total mind controlled versions of them too, like Batman I'll fucking kill you level. No shot. I don't care if one, and apparently now it's real. Oh, we have Wonder Woman helping us, so this is the only way we're possibly doing anything. Okay, cool, lovely.
See what this is, real quick.
Oh, you got an ass on you, all right. See, that's what he's talking about. Spread your ass open, dude. You can do the rump shaker, huh? The thug shaker. Give me the thug shaker, dude. Shake your ass. Take your hands off it and shake that shit. Pull your shirt up. I know you can shake it.
That's crazy. Who did this? That's so unhinged. What the hell? That's funny. I didn't actually. By the way, I like Peacemaker. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it.
My God,
I didn't hate it. It's not good though.
I never
but I didn't
watched
hate
it.
I had fun. Am I the one who loved? Damn, I don't want to spoil. What was it? Trent Indian was really a typical Indian that is hated by. Oh, I'm not surprised by like people from the homeland feeling some way about it, but apparently the actor, they had asked him and got his input and everything. So a lot of the stuff that you saw, especially the style and the bangles he had, were all his ideas. So I'll it's not my place to get mad. It's not my culture, you know. So I'm leaving it at that. Spider-Man was really the typical Indian that is hated by. So I gotta say I love that aspect. Okay, fair enough. The Suicide Squad is the game is not it. Whoa, this
I'm not
transformed
gonna
into a fish
lie.
stream. Shout out to Fish Mix. I hope he's good.
I'm not gonna lie.
Almighty.
I tried to tell him this. He was excited that the stream was happening today, and then he didn't show up. He's because he's a fraud. But anyway, the video game industry for comic books is also hella lacking. Has been lacking since the Arkham games came out.
This is the first time you'd argue that
I know people
they're not hitting on any front. Games, animation, TV, TV animation, animation live.
I don't care what anybody says.
I think they've dropped. I think
Spider-Man
both have dropped the ball on
PS4
all of it.
game sucks.
Well, I like it. I like the game.
Your Spider-Man PS4 game sucks.
You don't like the game? You played it?
Nah. Walmart Arkham Combat, mid as fuck story because you marketed it as, hey, we're gonna have the Sinister Six, and then have them barely in the game. Oh, cool. Same as level design and just the typical let's swing around and do bullshit side missions that don't feel fun. And my biggest pet peeve of Spider-Man games, he is constantly a limp-wristed bitch. I understand that Peter Parker holds back. It should not take 4 hits to knock a motherfucker out.
You know what?
Even if you're Spider-Man.
You know what? I had that same complaint. I'm like, this is a human being with no body armor. One kick is enough.
Yes.
I actually said that shit out loud, but I like the game. I don't have a problem with the game. I'm not like,
the biggest
oh, it's I'm next man.
Yeah, that's like.
I'm like, it's a good game. It cost me $13. I had fun.
Your Miles Morales is just Walmart Peter Parker, and fuck Mr. Negative. He's never been raw. I don't know why he exists. I don't know why people keep trying to use him. Give me an actual Sinister Six. And I was like,
I will say this though, I like the Doc Ock story in that game a lot. The Doc Ock stuff was good to me. Octavia stuff was good in that game. I liked it.
Where he's like Peter's boy, and then he switches up.
Yeah, but because of the thing in his brain, because he's trying to like do the neuro whatever the fuck, it starts to like press on his aggression and make him more and more or whatever. And then Peter had to build that suit, similar technology to be. Yeah, I actually didn't mind that, but I haven't played the Miles Morales DLC expansion or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be. So, but yeah, it's not. It's I'd still argue that Shattered Dimensions is my favorite Spider-Man game. Maybe I'm gonna think about that. I did play Edge of Time too, but I'll think about
PS2
it.
for me. PS2
but,
for me.
But the thing about this game that really made me want to play it was the swinging around. Like it's like therapeutic to me swinging around New York City in the Insomniac Spider-Man. It's really good. It feels great.
Yeah, but that's like me saying that I love Skyward Sword because I like flying around on the Loftwing, when in actuality, Skyward Sword's not really the best Zelda game we could ever play.
Fair enough. Spider-Man PS4 was fine. My only issue was all the stealth
Yeah, that's like
sections and swinging challenges. Yeah, I didn't like some of those challenges. They get like gold. I'm like, fuck this. Yeah, I feel that everything was fine. They said stop. They said stop hating. I don't. Oh, it's not me. I don't
game's
have an
not
issue with
good.
the game. I have an issue with the game. You gonna play Wolverine when it drops and Wonder
Game's not
Woman?
good.
The JPEG we got JPEG Wonder Woman.
JPEG for both. If Wonder Woman is also not limp wristed, then I'll play that.
Fair enough.
Wolverine, I expect it to just be a clone of X-Men Origins Wolverine game. That's honestly, God, what I expect it to be. Like I do. Insomniac. Notice to Insomniac. Go back to making Spyro games. Your new content's not hitting. I'm sorry. like
Shadow
your Spider-Man
Dimensions. Yeah,
games are
Shadow
not it.
Dimensions is the Spider-Man game with Spider-Man Noir, Peter Parker, and Miguel O'Hara. I feel like I'm missing one more Spider-Man, but yeah, it's cool. Of course, I'm playing
Real
Wolverine.
superhero games. Give me fucking it. Give me Infamous 3. That's what I want. Real superhero games.
What do you? Oh, what the fuck? I was about to say something. Oh, damn it. Well, oh, I saw a tweet today that said at Spider-Man, Superman, and Batman as the most iconic heroes that most people recognize. Would you say Wolverine's the fourth one? I put Wolverine because most people I know really like Wolverine. They like Hugh Jackman.
Obvious.
Like
Obviously.
that was the one that came to my mind. But I don't know if I was overlooking somebody. I don't think it's Wonder Woman actually. I really don't. Even though she's a holy
It's not
trinity.
even close. It's not even close, Wolverine. What's again? If you're doing the top 4, you pick 2 from DC, 2 from Marvel. What's the second most popular Marvel IP outside of Spider-Man? X-Men. Who's the most popular X-Men? Wolverine. Done. It's like it's not even close.
Yeah. What if you went villains? Iconic villains, 2 from DC, 2 from Marvel. Who would you pick? Joker for DC. I'm assuming.
Doom, Magneto, Joker, Luthor. Done.
Luthor. Do I agree with Lex? I don't disagree with Lex. Okay. Yeah, no, not Darkseid. That's from me. It's not like Mongol or anything like that. It's not gonna.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah.
That's character quality. That's character quality. I'm talking about
Not
essentially
I was
popularity here.
not Sinestro. No, you're probably right about that. Yeah. Anything
The
else
only
you
other
want?
Marvel villain that could maybe squeeze their way ahead of Doom and Magneto is Green Goblin off of Spider-Man text. But even then, I don't think that's good enough.
I think the one I was thinking about from a hero standpoint because of the MCU, but I don't keep my finger on the pulse like that, is Iron Man. I don't know if Iron Man. I know Iron Man got a lot more popular since the movie, but I don't know how much more popular, if that makes sense. So,
I would argue.
but I would still go Wolverine because like keep talking, but I'm a demonstrate something.
Yeah, I'd say Iron Man's probably third on that list now. Like, I still don't think his popularity has eclipsed Wolverine or Spider-Man. Or Spider-Man, clearly, but I still don't think his popularity has eclipsed Wolverine. Like, Logan's just too popular. People love Snick, they love Regeneration, they love Adamantium Skeleton, they love all that shit.
Sorry, I stepped away from you for a sec.
Also, just gonna say, all you Sony fans trying to gas up Spider-Man 2 as a Game of the Year contender, stop it. Stop it.
You see how I have these 3 pens in my hand like this? We used to love Wolverine so much. We used to just walk around with fucking pencil crayons in our arm like this, talking about I have 6 reasons for you to walk away, Bob.
I'm
used
the
to do
best
this
there is
shit
at what I
all
do.
the time, bro.
Yep. I'm the best there is at what I do.
And what I do
is not very nice. Yep. Come on, man.
He said, "No, I will not. Insomniac, we trust." Well, it's not being Tears of the Kingdom.
Sony, yeah, like just so any other game fan, you're not beating Tears. I hate to inform you, Final Fantasy was the only one that had a chance, and so far it's looking like it's going to be a huge.
I heard most people except my one friend said that the ending didn't do it for them, but they had fun.
I've heard that. I've heard that. I've heard game pacing is bad. Side quests suck.
Venom is a good one. I actually would throw Venom in there. Venom is very popular. That's a good one. Go ahead. Sorry.
Venom is very popular. That's what but like I'd also say portion of the game look unbalanced to me, and also that the story strays a little bit too close to Game of Thrones for some people's liking. That's the common complaints that I've seen.
Okay. All right, man. Captain America got their popular boosted by the movies.
Yeah, Captain America's definitely. Yeah. Both of them definitely.
I guess this is purely anecdotal, but I'd argue in my life a lot of people like Iron Man a lot since the movies came out, but not so much. Cap, it's
More
more
than
like
Cap.
people like the movie and the trilogy.
But bro,
but Steve himself, I don't know if they care that much, but Cap is up there. So yeah. But that's all I got for today, guys.
I don't know, man. I mean, you probably had this reaction, like in that Endgame showing in the credits. The cheers were there for Captain America. Oh shit.
Well, you're right. And when he picked the hammer up, they went crazy. They went crazy for the hammer.
Yeah,
You're
like
right.
people like the cheers at the end credits. Cap and Tony, theater lit up for both of them.
Yeah, I am Iron Man. He snapped and everyone was like, so
Yeah.
they went crazy. But all right, we'll be back to complain
Yeah.
about some comics that and
But
they
even
ruin
then,
they ruin everything that we
Snick
love
reigns supreme.
in some time. So yeah, I
Yes.
discovered Cap. I love the movies. I'm
And
not.
we'll actually
I don't.
maybe
I don't hate Cap, but he's not my guy like that. But he's cool. He's fine. I'll be interested. Okay, y'all be safe. I'm out.
maybe we'll finish some other things next time too.
We don't gotta Yeah, give me a day for Into the Spider Verse. I could do you and Simi at the same time. We can all watch it.
Mhm.
Does that sound like a good? Does that sound like fun? Me, you, and
Okay,
Simi just being unhinged, watching Into the Spider Verse.
The unhinged part. Listen, for Spider-Man, I'll be trepidatious probably the whole time. But the trio, if the trio's there, I can do it. I just got to find the time.
That's fine.
It is busy for your boy right now.
You got a lot going on. Next time, yes, next time you'll be there. I got you. Next time.
Yeah, I mean, just like I'm just busy.
All right,
Yeah.
man. You're. I want to host somebody.